One.
Welcome to Kilgallon's Pub, the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallon, like to sit back, have some drinks with people, and recreate that bar conversation we all know and love. You can follow the podcast on Instagram. That's at Kilgallon's Pub. Also on Twitter. Give myself a follow. I'm at Joe Kilgallon on all the platforms. As usual, I like to start off by giving everyone a big shout out for listening to the podcast. Big thanks to all the listeners. You guys are the best. I can't do it without you. I really can't. My Patreon subscribers, you guys are amazing. If you're not subscribing to the Patreon, please do that. A lot of hidden episodes on the podcast, stuff that's never been released before. Podcasts I had to take down for people worried about getting sued, or people who are like, hey, I'm applying for a job and you're too good in the Google ranking, so we got to take that podcast off the air so I get a job. Stuff like that. There's one where myself and comedian Erica Nicole Clark, who is Mr. T's daughter, we talk about losing our virginities. Ooh. So that's a fun, not to each other, but like we tell stories about that. And if you're on that, I sent a download link to my album. My second album came out recently, produced by my man James Webb. Say what's up, James.
What's up, James?
He's the producer of all the podcasts here at the People of Comedy Network. So check out People of Comedy Studio, or what's it called on Instagram? People of Comedy Network.
Comedy Network, yeah.
And the website, is the website up yet?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Okay, well, stay tuned for that. There's a million great comedy podcasts on there. So People of Comedy Network on Instagram, you'll get hooked up with all the great content. But the album, I give you a digital download link so you could have it yourself. The album did great. It opened #1 on the iTunes comedy chart. So again, thanks to everyone for checking it out. We are in the process of putting the special out, in which we are cutting up the video because we also filmed the damn thing. And I'm very excited for you guys to see that. It'll probably be, some of it will be rolling out as soon as next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. So it's going to be great. I'm really pumped up for today's podcast. I've got a dude, it's a non-comedian. When I started the podcast, you'll appreciate this. When I started the podcast, I got to take the keys out. I'm sitting on my keys like a dickhead.
Man.
When I started the podcast, I wanted, of course, comedians on, but I didn't want it to be as comedian heavy as it's been. But lately, we had Herb Lawrence on last week, who's an executive producer at the Score Sports radio station. Check that one out. And this week, I've got a dude who we went to the same high school together.
Yep.
Also because you've got a passion for comedy and you're doing some comedy stuff, and we're going to get into that, of course. We also, through talking about stuff, realized that we grew up on the same block.
Fucking crazy, man.
And your parents babysat me.
Yeah, man.
And I slept over at your house. We're 6 years apart. And I remember you being little Joe because you were fucking 6 years younger than me. So when I was like 9, you were 3. So
wild,
I was like, oh, this
man.
cool 3-year-old. Like, we the block I grew up on, James was looking at me like, Jesus, it's crazy. And for you listeners, I grew up on a Chicago block that these type of blocks don't feel like exist quite anymore. The blocks of people running around.
The neighborhood feel with everybody outside and everybody,
everybody was running around outside. People were just outside.
It's sad, man. But in some neighborhoods, it's still.
No, it's still there in some neighborhoods, in some aspect, but the fact that it was just kids and everyone was going in and out of each other's, it was all apartments on our block. People were going in and out of things, and it was great. But anyway, I haven't even said your name yet. Ladies and gentlemen,
right.
Joe Rao.
How's it going,
How
man?
you doing,
Thanks for
buddy?
having me
Dude,
on.
I'm super pumped to have you on because you've got stories, you've got experiences, I should say. You are training for the Olympics.
Yep.
You recently won a big-ass tournament called, Final X is the title of it. And you've been, we're going to talk about your wrestling career.
Okay.
But I want to go back to the beginning of this.
Yeah.
With high school, because you wrestled in high school. When did you start wrestling? Let's start with that.
I started wrestling when I was 6 years old, and it was kind of a crazy story.
All right, let's hear this shit.
Okay, so most wrestlers, it's like in the family. Like your dad wrestled, your grandpa wrestled, your brother wrestled. Nobody in my family wrestled. I was just like a scrappy kid. I was like playing basketball and baseball and football, and I was a younger kid on the block, like you said.
You were, yeah.
When I moved to the next neighborhood, like near Norwood Park, I had a big front yard and no gate. So people would play games on my front yard, and they wouldn't let me play with them. And then so I was always getting into fights and stuff over this, man. And I was getting teased by the older kids. And then my brother was like 3.5 years older than me, so I was always trying to pal around. So people were teasing me over games. So I was always getting into fights and stuff. They used to call me Mad Dog because I would fight anybody, and if they were beating my ass, I would bite them. Seriously,
That's, you know what though? A side note, I had a wrestling match. I wrestled 1 year in high school for St. Pat's. We were in the same high school. I kind of did, yeah. I had a guy named Mike Benson who was like the best wrestler, but he was
Doug
burnt out.
Benson's brother.
No, not Doug Benson's brother. Not that dude. By the way, we talked a lot of shit about Doug Benson when my album came out. Because Doug Benson's podcast you could buy for $1.99, so therefore it pops up in the iTunes comedy charts.
Oh.
So he does live podcasts, which is great. He
Yeah.
gets high and they're fun. I'm not knocking Doug Benson. I like a lot of his stuff. But don't sell your podcast and have it fucking rank in the iTunes comedy charts.
Yeah.
You
What
cheap
the-
dickhead. That's a shit move if you ask me. Start a Patreon, and yeah, it was messed up.
Yeah,
I remember going like, I'm not gonna get number one because this guy's selling stuff for $1.99. I'm selling it for $9.99.
Yeah.
And we're categorized the same.
How
See,
you
that's,
gonna, yeah. That's BS.
communism is what that is, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't know why. That's not it at all. But it just seems like an unfair playing field, but we're rated the same.
Yeah,
no,
that's not.
we're not.
That's not right. But there's
Right?
other less high Benson.
Yeah, so this dude, Mike Benson, he was a guy that I just want to give everyone a background. Like yourself, the sweetheart that you wouldn't fuck with. I always tell people the really, like, I've got a bad temper. I can handle myself. As far as being a technician with fighting, every fight I've won, I've took shots. It's because I could take a shot, though. I actually have a pretty good jaw. I've been in fights where I remember going like, this sucks. I'm getting hit a lot right now.
Yeah,
but if I
yeah.
could just grab onto this part of him, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to trip you. Now I'm going to win. Like,
That's
the
a big thing, though. There's tough guys with a weak jaw.
That's true, too.
Someone broke my jaw once.
Ooh.
Woof.
All right, I want to get to that.
Yeah.
Hold on, I just want to tell you Mike
Sorry.
Benson because you appreciate this Benson guy.
Sorry.
He came from a wrestling family. He started
Yeah.
wrestling when he was like 2 or 3, and then when in 8th grade he was 2nd in the state of Illinois, 16th in the nation.
Oh, damn.
As an 8th grader.
Yeah.
And then going into high school, everyone talked. He wrestled mostly varsity freshman year.
Yeah.
But I remember one meet, it was early in the season. He was still on the freshman team, and everyone won in a row. Or actually, he was in varsity, but he was hanging out with freshmen. And he said something to me. He goes, "You do whatever you can to win. Bite the motherfucker. You do not go down." Because we had won like 7 in a row, and it was up to me. And I think I was actually, was I at 152 or was it 160? Because I was between the two. I was under 160.
Okay.
And I was 152.
152 is, yeah.
Yeah, and as a freshman, so I never would cut weight because I also wanted to play football. But anyway, I didn't want to lose weight, so I was happy. I'll wrestle whatever you got me.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
that guy. It was my first year ever wrestling. I hadn't wrestled before that, and it was at York High School, suburb of Chicago. Dude, like kind of cross-faced me a little bit, so I'm like, "Ooh, I could kind of get away with this."
Yeah.
And then I kind of bit a little bit, and he even said he bit me, and I'm like, the dude's arm, he put his arm in my mouth. I didn't bite him. He scraped my teeth. You ever
Yeah,
pet a
yeah.
dog? You ever pet a dog where you think the dog bit you, but really you just teeth clanked you? And then the ref was like, "I didn't see it, yeah." And then the ref looked at me, the ref gave me a look like, yeah, I have pet a dog where I thought, did this dog bite me?
Yeah.
He looked at me like, "That's a good point, young man."
You're good.
All right.
You're good.
And then I just beat him on points. But I did win Move of the Year because I did a double leg train that may or may not have been right at the whistle at the end of like the second
And they
period.
gave it to you?
And I fucking nailed him. Yeah, I
Heck
gave
yeah.
it to him. But I did bite him. And so that's why I respect you as a young, scrappy kid. You got to do what you can.
I've
on
seen
those
that
streets.
call go the other way, where like my buddy stuck like cross-faced the guy like into his mouth, and then he's like, "This guy bit me." And he literally like pressed his forearm into this guy's teeth, and like had little marks, and the kid got like disqualified.
Really?
Yeah. And
See,
I
this
knew
kid
the other
didn't
kid.
have marks.
Yeah,
He didn't
yeah.
have marks. I was good about
That's
that.
funny.
Yeah.
So I was a scrappy kid, and across the street, across the alley was this Polish guy who we do
In
pickup games.
Chicago? No way. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Most Polish people in any city other than Warsaw itself.
Yeah, it is.
It's nuts. But this Polish guy, his son was like a brother to me, and like he would throw, all kinds of games for the kids. Like he'd throw basketball tournaments and baseball tournaments, make it fun for us. He was an awesome dude. And then he kept telling my parents, like, "You got to get him into wrestling. You got to get him into wrestling." And I wanted to do it because that was like the height of like Stone Cold and everything. I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like, and they took me to a like Chicago park, like wrestling day. And I was just running around chasing kids around like all day. And they're like, "You got to get them on a real team." And so my parents were like, "All right." Like they let our neighbor take me to like a legit team, the Maine Eagles. And then he started taking me to everything for like a while. And then when I was like 11 or 12, this guy ended up being in the Polish mob, arrested, imprisoned, and then after his sentence deported.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see this guy again.
ICE got him.
Yeah, fuck.
The wild thing is my dad's a Chicago cop, and then he lived next to a captain in the Chicago police, and he's like the nicest guy in the world. And like I really just like chalk it up as like he's a huge dude. He barely spoke English, and he would have loved to do what I'm doing now. And
Immigrants,
he just
some
was
immigrants
trying
have to do what they can to get by, So
exactly.
I get it.
But I felt like I owed my
Still
life.
great
to this
advice,
guy.
though.
Yeah.
You could be a criminal and give fantastic advice. That
Yeah.
is true.
I
It
feel
might
like
be the
a
best
lot
advice.
of criminals have really good advice.
They do.
They've
Just
been
do
through
the
shit.
opposite of
They've
what
been
they
through
do.
shit.
Yeah, you do the opposite of what I did, or here's what I would have done if I were you.
Yeah, learn from
They
your
know. You
mistakes.
see every angle.
Yeah.
But this guy, he got me into wrestling, so I feel like I owed my life to him. And like his son was in our family because his dad wasn't there, so he was always around. And then I didn't see this guy again until I made my first like USA team. I was like, I'm fucking going out to Poland to see him. And I went out and saw him. It was like a pilgrimage, Like,
Oh, that's incredible.
I went out and saw him when I made my first US team and like hung out with him for a week. Like he's affiliated with some like MMA
Is he still in
gyms
the
out
mob?
there.
I
He's
thought you were
not.
like,
He's not.
he's affiliated with the big
He's
crime
not affiliated
family.
with the mob.
The
But
Zukowskis. They're just running shit in Warsaw.
my dad literally, like, him and my other neighbor Jerry, they like found a picture of like organized crime in Chicago, and he was with like the Polish mob, just like in there.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy. But
That's nuts. That's cool
yeah.
that you got to reconnect with him and stuff like that.
Yeah, great dude. He's got like a whole other family back out, and he had like remarried, had like a daughter, and so like him and my buddy, like I'm still close with my buddy. Their relationship is strained, so I haven't talked to him in a while. But I went out to Poland to visit him. I did some MMA clinics, like kind of thing. Taught some MMA guys wrestling, and it was badass, man. But like, yeah, he totally just like put me up, like no questions asked. And he said he's not affiliated with the mob, but I don't know. Who knows? But
He still looks like a good guy.
I wasn't asking any questions.
There's different mafia guys,
Yeah.
I had a little run-in with some mafia type stuff when I was in grade school. A friend of mine, his mother married I can't say their names. One guy
Exactly.
who might listen to the pod. I'm not even kidding. Off air, I'll tell you guys the
This
names.
is the No Names podcast.
I'll just say this with the name. I went to my friend's stepbrother was that side of the family. I went to their game. There's a place called Thillins.
Yeah.
So Thillins.
Is that true that if you hit the sign, you get a scholarship?
It's not a scholarship.
That's
You got
been
like a big
like-
savings bond. I think it was like $1,000 savings bond, or maybe a $10,000. It was
Every
some
kid in
big, rich
Chicago
thing.
like talked about that. I never knew if it was true.
So for listeners who are not in Chicago, Thillins is like this sandlot type, but really nice, like
it's awesome.
field where every little league would have like a championship game or an all-star game there, or some big game there, because they had a home run fence.
Yeah.
It had like concession stands. Also, it was really cool. In the men's bathroom, there's a plaque above the one urinal that says Michael Jordan peed. Or it said Michael Jordan. It's a Michael Jordan pissed
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
August 2nd, 1992.
That's awesome.
And every guy would be like, I peed when Michael Jordan peed. Like everyone was jacked up about that. And if you hit the center field scoreboard, some bank sponsored it. Where you got like a big savings bond. It wasn't a scholarship. Maybe it was a scholarship at one point, but it was a savings bond. So you cashed on that. But anyway, we went to the game at Thillins, and the grandfather, who looked right out of The Sopranos, like you're like, this is Paulie Walnuts. Like you couldn't. He looked like an extra, not even extra. Looked like main character. You couldn't draw a picture of a more mafia looking guy, and he was giving me a hard time about being Irish, but my dad grew up in a neighborhood that was half Irish, half Italian, so he knew the neighborhood. So it was kind of like, we're just busting chops, having a good time. He goes, but hey, listen, all kidding aside, Irish kid, you want anything, you let me know. I took advantage of that. I was like, snow cone?
Awesome.
Cool. I had like 6 cans of pop, 4 hot dogs, 3 snow cones. I had ice cream bars. And after a while, he was like, wow, you're really running this in the ground. He even made jokes about me taking advantage of it. And I said, but you said, he's like, all right, you got me.
He
Damn,
shoulda
you should be a
hired
lawyer. I think he joked about me being a lawyer because I was like, but you said, and I was like, really, I like quoted him directly back to his own face. Week later, because I remember when I got home that night telling my dad, because I was like, I have a tummy ache. I ate all. He's like, oh my God. He goes, they spent that much money on you? I'm like, well, his grandfather was just saying, get whatever you want. And then he's like, all right. I remember my dad being like, okay. And then a few days later, my dad shows me the cover of the Tribune and goes, was this the guy that bought you all the stuff at the Little League game? I go, yeah, that's so-and-so's grandfather. He was like, yeah, he's going away for a long. Like, he was like,
man,
he was indicated. FBI's raided everything, and he was like a big name in the Italian mafia in Chicago.
Jeez.
So, but sweetheart,
Yeah, absolutely.
So same thing.
That's how I felt.
He didn't tell me to follow a dream like
Yeah,
your guy did. But he really just called me a cheap Mick. But anyway, he's still a good fella in that regard. But then, so here's what I found really cool about talking to you and getting to follow your career a little bit, because your old wrestling coach, was he your coach at the time? Dominic Angelo, a good friend of mine from high school.
Angelo and Hawkins would come into the room and just like beat up us on all of us.
Yeah, because those two were awesome wrestlers in high school.
they were like a little bit older than me, so they weren't like he wasn't the head coach yet, but they were kind of the coach that would come in and just beat up on us and like encourage us. Like they're like assistant coaches.
Yeah, great guys.
And now Dom is the head coach.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it was the Duggins when I was there.
Oh, I know those dudes too.
Yeah.
I got a story off air I can tell you. I can't say anything on air because St. Pat's people.
I have some off air stuff I could say about that.
So I got what was I gonna say with this? So Dom hit me up saying, hey, there's this guy. He's an amazing wrestler. He wants to do some comedy stuff too. Just be on the lookout for him. And I think he group messaged us, so we got to be like, hey, what's up?
You were still in LA, I think, at that time.
I was still in LA at that time. I then shortly after that or whatever, when we started talking more, when I moved back, I looked up. You had a very good wrestling career in high school, but you never placed in state.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of guys, at least guys I know, would have been like, well,
Yeah.
maybe I'll wrestle a little bit in college to get some money off, or if I get over scholarships there, it's there, whatever. You, though, hit your prime in college and really jumped it up a notch. So what do you think was the difference? Did you just get better, or did you get more motivated, or what changed from high school to college?
Man, and like a lot of coaches talked to me about this too, and it was nothing about motivation or like getting better, stronger, faster. It was like a mind shift. And I was talking to you a little bit, but like I had this coach that was a world champ, and it really articulates kind of what I'm talking about. But he said the art of performance is training like a madman, like it's the end of the world, and then competing like you don't give a shit. And that's what it's like. I cared too much. Like, I got in the way of myself. Like, winning state was an obsession to the point where I wanted it so bad that it was never going to happen. It was like I was going at the hottest girl in school all the wrong way. Like, I was hyperventilating every time I talked to her. You know what I mean? And then when I finally got on my own way and I was like, fuck this, things started happening for me. And I think that people never reach that point. Like, I was like total deep end, and, I was just like, fuck it, man.
I do think there's something about reaching greatness by, I don't know if I want to say by not giving a shit, because some people might take that
almost
as
like
not
rock
working
bottom.
as hard.
Yeah.
By not giving a shit, I think it's a mental approach of like, I'm going to just do this.
Yeah.
Where you were saying you were obsessed with getting state, like you're obsessed with the hot girl, but because of that you were hyperventilating. Some people get so focused on their obsessions, they don't realize they're almost afraid of it.
Yeah.
They become because it becomes this thing that they put out there. It's like this thing on a pedestal.
Yeah,
It's their Mount
Now I'm
Everest.
thinking about 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah. That's it.
Putting the goal on the pedestal.
You put that pussy on the pedestal.
It's true, man.
It is. And that
very
script
true.
would have been great if you would have cut the last 40 pages or so. No, that was the 40-year-old virgin was a really good movie.
Hilarious, man.
I remember watching it in theater, loving every second of it, and then seeing it a couple of years later on HBO or something, being like, why is this a 2.5-hour movie? That movie is so long.
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie, James? 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome flick overall. I'd still like, if it's on TV, I'm going to watch a little bit of it. Still way too long. Judd Apatow movies are too long. Anyway, though, but that's essentially what it is.
Absolutely, man.
It kept putting it out there so much that it became almost this weird thing where if you would have just relaxed and believed, so I like what you're saying. It was like, I just stopped giving a shit.
Yeah.
Because I had a moment where the best set I had in LA, and I consider my time in LA, I don't consider it a failure at all. I did some stuff. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'd be lying to myself if I'd said I'd accomplished everything I set out to, because I 100% did not.
Yeah.
I didn't leave because I felt like, I've given it all I can. It's time to go home.
Yeah.
I went home for a slew of different reasons, family being most important. Chicago's popping right now.
Yeah,
it's been popping the last few years. There's a lot going on in which I want to be in a place where I could create as much as possible, and you could do that here.
Dude, I love that, man.
Right?
Like, I've heard you say that a lot. Like, comedians you should know, like in your podcast and stuff like that. And that's kind of it's weirdly was the same thing I was going through with wrestling too. So much talent here, we all leave.
Yeah, that's what kills me about Chicago. Yeah,
because I came back after like 6 years of being in Minnesota, where they've had Olympians on the team since like 1960, every Olympics. So I went to somewhere that was like known for having a good Olympic wrestling program, and then I got to the point in my career where like I've got a lot of experience. I can come back and succeed back home, and like Northwestern gave me this awesome deal, and I did it. But like talking about what you're trying to say, I
love hearing that too, man.
I'm trying to give opportunities for wrestlers to stay home or come back home and wrestle, and that's what you're doing with
that's what
comedians.
we're doing with this podcast network
awesome,
and comedians you should know, of
It's
course.
awesome.
Like, there's no reason. Everyone gets caught up in the old ways of show business. You got to go to LA or New York, kid. Where it's like, people forget like Dave Chappelle is in Ohio now.
Yeah.
Doug Stamp lives in Arizona.
Hannibal's
Granted, obviously,
back here,
Hannibal's
right?
back here. Yeah, Hannibal's back in Chicago.
Yeah.
Obviously, they went to those cities and made a name, but like you don't need to. It's not like it was 30 years ago where that's where it was. Now there are so many ways to be seen. Festivals, the internet being number one, of course, podcasts, Instagram, YouTube is huge. And it goes that way in anything, really. You know, I remember having the realization where I'm like, I'm happier in Chicago. This was maybe when I was like a year and a half, 2 years now. But here's the thing. I liked LA. I did like living there as a city. And I miss it from time to time. Don't get me wrong. And I can't wait to go back to visit. But Chicago just is... There's something about the atmosphere here that I know I'm stronger.
Awesome.
Almost makes me think, what's this, like you're a comic book guy. Superman's stronger because the yellow sun of the earth or something like that.
Yeah,
So
whenever it's daylight, he gets stronger.
Yeah, so I kind of felt that way about Chicago. When I'm here, I'm funnier.
Yeah.
I feel more creative. It's
You're near
home.
the sun.
Yes.
Man.
That's how I really felt that way about it. And, so I look at it that way where, but the one thing is, where was I going with this? Oh, with my time in LA that I learned, in regards to like anything you go for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my last set, I remember it was like, you know, it was a sold out show. We did a community, I did a community show in LA. We produced that. It was a great lineup. Like I was like the least most famous person on my own show. That's how dumb I always joke about how whenever I book a show, I'm like the least funny person on it, which isn't true. I'm just being self-deprecating.
That's good though.
But
Yeah.
no,
That's what you want.
yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, we had, so many.
But you're
people,
new to-
people on
you're new-
SNL were on the show and all
You're
that
new
stuff.
to other people. You're old. You're like, don't you feel like you already know all your own stuff? So.
Yeah, and comics know me. I've always been kind of a comics comic in a way
Yeah.
where like comedians in the country mostly know me, but like at that show, as far as like credits go, TV credits, I had the least amount on a show that I booked because it was my last show. Because these are all my friends. I'm like, I want to do these shows with all my LA friends and then sail off. But I remember I started to write a set list. I was like, I wrote the first joke and then right when I was about to write the second, I'm like, what do I want to do? What joke do I want to do after the opener? And then my brain was all of a sudden like, who gives a fuck? It's your last show here.
Hell yeah.
Just fucking go up there, dude. Just rip it apart, man. And that's what I wrote. I just wrote, I don't give a fuck. I like actually had to write it for some stupid reason, waste the paper, put it in my notepad, and I went up there and I absolutely destroyed. I murdered.
Yeah.
And I had all these comics coming up to me, Nick Vatterach, Chris Redd, all these fucking dudes being like, where was that guy this whole time?
Yeah.
And then I realized, because I'm like, wait, I was doing well. They're like, no, you were. We're not knocking it, but you weren't that guy.
Yeah.
If you were that guy, you wouldn't be moving back right now. And I'm like, no, I think I always want to. No, we mean like you'd be on a show or you'd be involved in something in which even if you wanted to move back, you'd be like, this sucks. I want to move to Chicago, but I can't. I can't be, even though I want to. I'm like, all right, I thought they were just blowing smoke in my ass. The whole following week, I'd get messages from random people being like, hey, just want to say again, that was unbelievable.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
it meant a lot to me too because it was from certain people we all have that one friend that never gives you a compliment.
Yeah.
You know, James Webb, you know CJ Sullivan?
Yeah.
Dude's never been, like, he's a ball-busting dude. That's why I love the guy.
Yeah.
I almost felt weird about the compliment because it was like 4 days after the fact.
Are
He just
you
wants to be
all
like- he was like, I know, I remember being like,
I have a lot of people like that.
are you dying, buddy? What's the matter, man? You were a real sweetheart just then. But he was basically just like, hey, man. I think he actually joked saying, hey, white rage is going to be the next big thing. Stay true to yourself. Because I think I went off on the movie Moonlight or whatever. I went off on that movie. Even I said it was a good movie and all, but it was like, oh, come on.
What's wrong with Moonlight?
It could just be a headline.
Chicago
Chicago comedian.
was fine, but it wasn't.
Black people.
White.
No, I don't hate black people.
Straight white male Joe Kilgallon. Hates
Kilgallon
the movie.
No, not kidding.
Hates the movie Moonlight.
I said I didn't hate it. I
For
just thought it was
obvious
overrated.
reasons.
I thought everybody was like, well, you have to love it.
There's lots of
You have
overrated
to
movies.
love that movie. I'm like, no, I don't have to. I liked it. I remember telling someone, going like, oh, yeah, that was good. And they're like, good? You mean great? I'm like, no, I mean it was good. I'll never watch it again. A great movie is something I pop in again. You know what's great? Ferris Bueller's fucking Day Off.
Hell yeah.
That's a great movie.
Hell yeah.
I could watch that every day. Moonlight, I would never watch every day.
Well, that's
the difference.
There's certain
Good,
things
not great.
you have to like, or else you're an asshole. Like Jordan Peele's Get Out was an awesome movie. His follow-up one wasn't that good to me, but everybody had to say it was good. I felt like people felt like they had to say it was good.
Yeah, there's certain stuff that
and
you're
I was like,
obligated
I
to be
love all his stuff, like Key and Peele. Like I'm a huge fan, but the second movie he made, the follow-up, was like a letdown to me. But everybody was like, it's fucking amazing.
No, I get
I'm
that.
like,
There's a lot of that going on in society right now
the
where you
end
have
of
to
it-
like it or else you feel bad.
Yeah.
Like I made a post on Sunday saying, am I a bad American because I didn't watch the Women's World Cup? And I I don't like soccer. I
You
wasn't
followed
going to
it on
pretend.
Twitter, right?
I followed it on Twitter. I actually
Yeah,
turned
that's
it
what
on right
that's
when they
what-
won. I was happy they won. I was rooting for them because it's my country.
America.
But I
Yeah.
don't like soccer, so I didn't want to be one of those people pretending.
I don't like soccer either. I dated
Yeah,
a soccer
so-
chick for 2 years. I had to watch the whole World Cup, and I was miserable.
Yeah,
Like I felt bad.
it's not for you.
I felt bad. I was just like, God damn it. I got in trouble at a Chicago Fire game with her once. Yeah.
What happened? You just started saying,
It's actually
let's
on
get
you-
some offense, you
it's-
fucking. Quit jogging at midfield for 3 hours. We get it. I hate when people say soccer's nonstop action. No, it's not. It's a lot of jogging at midfield.
It's nonstop running.
It's
Yeah.
it's not
It's
even
not
full
actually-
sprints.
exhausting.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just like
The worst is watching something like everybody else cares about. Like,
I just realized
To
we have
the
English
max.
listeners and they're gonna hate me right now.
oh yeah, it's
There's
okay.
people listening in England and Australia. Listen, guys, I just didn't grow up in
Hey,
the sport.
fuck you.
If I would have had FIFA for Xbox or PlayStation, I probably would love it.
Yeah,
Because I got a lot of brothers and family. I've got Irish relatives who love the sport, but I just didn't ever got into it. I
Irish-
understand it's the brilliant game,
It's
but
hard.
I can't
It's hard to play.
get
If you-
into it.
if
No,
you-
it's
if-
difficult. Those
if
people
you
are
fuck
skilled,
around
but
with, like,
it's
a
not
soccer
nonstop
ball.
action.
Whenever we're overseas, like every foreign team, because we like are always practicing with other countries, they just fuck us up in soccer. Because
I
we'll
believe
like
it.
warm up with a soccer game, or we'll like have a fun workout. Just absolutely make us look like dog shit. It's like, but Americans are good at hand, like
We're
any
better with hand-eye
handball,
coordination, yeah.
football, baseball, but we never get to play those games. It's always soccer, and they make us look fucking
Or
stupid.
They do, and it's some of it's the
So hard.
popularity though.
yeah.
Like our most gifted athletes go into football, basketball,
Yeah.
where in other countries their most gifted athletes go into football,
Yeah.
as they call it, soccer. And I get it. That's why we lose. Where our women's team dominates because for a woman,
Yeah.
going into soccer makes sense. That there's no football equivalent for women.
No, yeah.
And this isn't to take away from the U.S. women's team because they're obviously incredible.
Yeah,
They're
it
a
was
dynasty.
awesome.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're great athletes. I like that they have fun. I'm scrolling through Instagram. I'll see like one of their cell phone videos. They're always taking cell phone videos of
Yeah.
someone twerking or partying.
That's what I
spraying
like more
bot
than
beer in the air.
anything.
I love that. That's
It's
great.
like following the stuff on Twitter, all the goofy shit. That's what I like. Teams with personality more than anything.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I always subscribe to the work hard, play hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like people who look like they really enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah,
Cam Newton was an example I used before, although
Yeah.
he's gotten so stupid with press conferences and kind of a baby. I've lost a little respect for him in that regard. But when everyone gave him a hard time for celebrating,
Yeah.
doing that Superman pose, I'm like, the guy always has a smile on his
he's an
face.
entertainer. Yeah.
I like watching athletes who get paid insane money.
Yeah.
They should be. Where you see some athletes, they got this this mean, menacing look on their face. It's like, hey, dickhead, you're getting $9 million a year to play
Yeah.
a game. Have some smile.
Absolutely.
Chill. Have some fun.
How can you not be happy? But like talking about authenticity, like if you're that guy, be that guy.
Yeah.
If you're not a humble guy, don't fake like you're humble.
I
And
agree.
you know what I mean? And then vice versa.
Yeah, I hate fake. I
don't
hate
know.
fake. That's true.
I don't know. Like Cam Newton is not fake outgoing. That's like who he
No,
is.
that's true. Yeah, if you're
So,
if you're
hate
mild
him or
mannered,
love him.
if you're mild mannered,
Yeah.
be mild mannered. I just don't. Maybe it's not the athletes because I was saying if you have to get pumped up by mean mugging people, then
Oh,
get
yeah,
pumped
yeah,
up by
yeah.
mean mugging people. I'm not gonna take that away from you.
I don't get it either though.
I guess it's like there's that old school mentality from a lot of these like analysts, like these sports commentators would be like, back in our day we wouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, back in your day you also beat women regularly,
Yeah.
and you also treated people who weren't like you like trash. Like,
Yeah.
not, everyone always pretend like back in the day things were better. In some regards, sure they were. We were talking about like kids running around the block.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was better.
Every generation has that though.
Yeah, there's always also every generation hates whatever the new generation is.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone dumps on millennials. Everyone dumped on Gen X before that.
Yeah.
When baby boomers were teenagers, everyone hated them.
Yeah.
Everyone, whatever the new generation is, we hate naturally. That's just how that goes. But dude, like, there is something about. So I didn't. When I had that set, I was saying my last set in LA, where I really thought, I don't care. I'm just gonna go up there. It wasn't that. When people say, "Oh, you stopped giving a fuck," or the whole,
Yeah.
it wasn't that I didn't give a fuck. No, I did. I clearly wanted to go up there and rock that and just crush it. The not giving a fuck means you just kind of let go of the outcome.
Yeah.
And I think maybe if I haven't talked about this, and this, look, you're talking about wrestling, I'm talking about
Yeah.
comedy. People listening who aren't in those two professions, try to find a way to apply this to whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
Because what I've realized is, whatever your big goal is, I think you have to fall in love with the process,
Absolutely.
right?
I tell all these kids that exactly.
It's got to be the process.
Focus on what you can control. That's what I think you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I can't control whether I win or lose. I can't control who I'm wrestling or what he's done accolades wise.
Yeah.
I can't focus on what I'm seated or what I'm ranked or like where I am in the bracket. So I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff anymore. And that was the mind shift like that I think you're talking about. It was focusing on what you can control only.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
hard to do because we're not built that way as humans.
No, we're not. We're very result driven.
Yeah.
Well, what I really had an awakening was because I saw a lot of friends of mine success, and not even people I was friends with, like some close friends and some people just that are casual acquaintances.
Yeah.
And I saw them getting things that I know that they had wanted for a long time, and they did not seem any happier after they got it. They didn't seem any.
Not at all.
And obviously, comedians, we all kind of pride ourselves in, well, we're not normal, we're weird, we're all a little messed up. It wasn't even it goes beyond just that normal thing of just being like, I don't know, or not having high expectations or whatever the hell it might be. It was that they literally they hit the milestone and then they were like, all right, what's next?
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, I don't want to be that. I want to live. I want to enjoy the moment. And
Absolutely.
I feel like if you just enjoy the process, then you win.
Yeah, everything.
And then whatever comes your way, that's the gravy
Absolutely.
on top. That's the bonus. And I think you could apply that to almost anything that is your goal in life.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy the build up. Enjoy the leading there.
Yeah.
And like, you're okay. The tournament's in. Are you going to Peru next? You said
I'm going to Peru next. Yeah, Pan Am Games.
Pan Am Games. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then
Enjoy the training.
absolutely.
If you enjoy the
And
training, put all that in. Put all of yourself out there.
Absolutely.
Then you've won. And
it's easy to be negative and hate every second of
It's so
like
easy.
of like you can still love the sport and the goal, like want to accomplish it, but you can hate the process, and that's exactly what you're saying.
Totally. Like I remember reading a writer wrote, I hate writing. I love having written.
Yeah.
And I love being done.
That makes sense.
That makes
man.
sense.
That
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense.
I hate editing, but I love
The finished
making
product.
videos. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
man.
but I almost think to myself, but I actually like the process of mastering the joke.
Sure.
But of course, I love the result too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the key is if you could find a way to love both.
Well, we're also, not to get too off the rails, but we're in a culture of instant gratification. So
Yeah.
like now, everything we do, it's got to be now. So like anything that takes a considerable amount of work is much harder, I think, for us than it was for like our parents or like our grandparents.
Like I'm
It's
very
very-
lucky. I live in a house that I'm co-owner of.
Yeah.
But every now and then I think, oh man, I wish my house was like this or like that. And then I have to check myself going, how many people wish they were in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
They wish they had what I had. So stop thinking about more.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's okay to be like, I want to move over here one day. That's fine. But if you don't appreciate what you have, that's the worst thing in life, not appreciating what you have.
It's cool to have goals, but it's not cool to want.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But how to stop yourself from doing that? Because I mean, it's like
goals are great,
necessary and almost like bred to think that way, like never satisfied. So I'm always like, as an athlete and an ambitious person with everything, like I'm just like, what is the goal? Is it like contentment, or do I want to accomplish like huge things? Like,
I don't think contentment is what you want.
You know what I mean?
No,
though?
I know what you
Because
mean,
I'm
though,
like,
yeah.
that looks nice. Like they may not feel the way I think they do looking at them. You know what I mean? But that guy's content. He's enjoying life. Like,
Well, before we started recording, you said something interesting to me because we were talking a little bit about how you went from very good high school career, not placing all that, and then winning nationals, and then going through all the other tournaments you went through post college and getting on the U.S. team and all that, and how you just became like gone to it. It became your obsession of how do I get good about that. And that's just kind of how I think it goes for people. Yeah. That's why I like talking to athletes. That's why I like talking to people in music and acting even. And, we got friends who are pro wrestlers, like WWE style wrestlers. I mean, is anything where there's not a traditional path. Yeah. I think you have to be a little bit gone to it. Yeah. Because you have to be obsessed to get to that level. Yeah, yeah. And that's why it's really cool to hear how you were like, oh, what was the difference between high school and this? Obsession, man. Yeah, absolutely. I ate, slept, and drank this. Yeah. And that's why it became where I'm at. And so now you're going to, and how many different countries have you wrestled in now? You ever
probably 30-something.
30-something different countries you've done.
Dude.
And in Greco-Roman style.
If I, like, as a little chubby kid in Chicago, like, would have known that I was doing what I am now, I would have lost my fucking mind.
Yeah.
But then I'm like actively doing it, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I've done this.
But
I
you're
wish
aware
I-
of that. That's
no,
great.
I'm aware of that. But it's a constant fight of like, of being happy with what I've done, which is really fucking hard to do, man. And then there's like, if I was another guy, I would be hoping to get what I have right now. But now, since I'm me,
Yeah.
I want fucking what this, something bigger. And I think that's natural.
That's totally natural.
Try not to compare myself to anybody else, because that's the fucking root of
Well,
all
and everyone's
evil.
got their own
Comparison.
little path to certain stuff like that too.
Yeah.
You know, like it's endless. There are comedians who, after a year or two, I thought, how the hell did they get this
Yeah.
and all that? And then I started beating myself up, going like, well, what do I got to do to do this?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm focusing on stuff I can't control, and that's
Absolutely.
just a waste of your time.
I
Waste.
obsessively check like famous comedians and actors like that I want to be like their age. And I'm like, fuck. Or when they started doing
Yeah.
comedy.
No,
And I'm
no, I
like,
get that.
fuck.
I
Like,
get that.
You know, I'm like, I'm 28. I still haven't done shit. Like, this guy started when he was 16. Like, yeah. I actually went to a show at Zany's. I did an open mic on Saturday.
Oh, nice,
like
man.
2 Saturdays ago. And like a couple of the professional comedians that were going on at Zany's like dropped in and tried their set in between shows. And then I went and saw their show on Zany's, and the guy after was like, yeah, man, take my Instagram down. I'll like, I've been doing this for 10 years since I was 16. I gotta look out for like these young comedians. And I like didn't say anything.
So
like,
he's 26.
I'm like, dude, I'm fucking older than you. yeah. I'm like, I felt like an asshole, but I didn't say it. But I'm like, yeah, he's just being a nice guy.
tell me off air who the fuck
Yeah, I
said
wanna
that.
know who
'cause
that
I
is.
want
He
to
was-
trash him later
he
on
was-
Facebook.
He was being all nice to me about it, but like he was kind of like, "Hey, little guy, I'll take you under my wing." I'm like, "I'm fucking older than you, dude."
You're only
Like,
a little older than, but still.
I know,
hear you,
but
yeah.
still, it was just like funny. But like, that's one thing I do, and I probably do it more in comedy than I do in wrestling. But like, because I want to like start a comedy career, but I'm actively doing this wrestling thing that takes all my time for the most
Well,
part.
yeah, but again, focus on what you love and all that. But here's the beautiful thing about comedy: it's not age sensitive.
Yeah, like Rodney
Yeah.
Dangerfield.
It's not. Again, Rodney
Yeah.
Dangerfield started when he was in
Yeah.
his 50s. There's so many. Entertainment in general isn't age sensitive.
Yeah.
That actor who died recently, he played Frasier's dad. Was it John Maloney or Maroney?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, John Mulroney.
Mulroney. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'd been in a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? He had a great career. Didn't go on his first audition until he was 38.
Yeah, it's
Jesus.
crazy.
Didn't start acting until he was 38 years old.
DDP didn't start professional wrestling until he was like 35.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah. No, that
it's
I love
yeah,
those
there's no-
stories.
yeah.
But it's funny that like I randomly do that all the time.
No, I hear that. I started. I was super young. I started when I was 22, and in the Chicago comedy scene, I was kind of like the young kid for a while. And then I remember when the shift happened, where I'm like, "Wait, you're 21? I'm 27." Oh my god! I remember feeling bad about being 27. Now I would kill to be 27 again. I'm 34 now. I'm closer to 35, and it's
Different.
Yeah,
It happened
it's
to me in
different. It happens
wrestling.
quickly,
I'm
too.
the old guy in wrestling now, one of the old guys, and I
Yeah.
was always treated as a young guy. But I think I look pretty young, and I
You do look
I
young.
act
Yeah,
like a
dude.
dumbass all the time.
That helps.
So everybody
Acting
looks at
dumb
me
always helps,
like
don't
I'm 16 years old. Like everybody fucking talks to me like I'm a little kid. But now, like I have all these young wrestlers that look to me as like a mentor, and I love it. Like I love the role. Like I jump into it, and I'll help anybody out. Like
All right, well, let me
Yeah.
ask you a fun question here, because I always
Sorry, we're so fucking serious.
No,
today.
we are a little bit. Well, I wanted
good.
to get. I like the inspirational shit. That's why I was kind of into that
Yeah,
up
yeah.
front, especially with something as tough as going for the Olympics.
Yeah.
You were training your ass off to be one of the best on the planet.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. So I wanted to get into that part of it. But I always want to ask professional athletes this,
Huh.
although not technically professional, but world class athlete. Let's
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
that way. At what point did you look yourself in the mirror and be like, I am a fucking badass. Holy shit, am I awesome? I've been fortunate enough to hang out with some professional athletes, and I used to joke with them, being like,
Yeah.
I knew, I used to hang out with Dave Bolin, who was on the Blackhawks for a few years. And I'm dropping names, I know, but I
Oh,
remember.
yeah, drop that name.
Yeah. I still hate you.
Oh yeah, you remember?
Hang out with Dave Bolin.
I went to his wedding.
That's awesome.
He's divorced now, so maybe I was in a good luck charm. But,
yeah, yeah.
If you're listening, Boley, I love you, man. But I remember even having a drunken conversation with him, where it was like, dude, come on, man. At what point where you're like, oh, I'm going pro in this
Level
shit?
with me. Yeah.
Like, what? Come on, like, because I always want to ask. You know what? I have a friend that's a model. I want to get her on the podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got to get her on. I have to hit her up. April Rose. She was a Loop Rock girl. She was Maxim.
Oh,
yeah.
Top 100. And she's
R.I.P.
pretty-
the Loop.
She's R.I.P. the
Yeah,
Loop,
fuck.
man.
What
It's a
happened,
great
man?
classic rock station. Now it's a
Yeah.
Christian rock station.
Fuck.
Blasphemy. Anyhow, though,
Let's get much more
I want to
classic
get
than
her on
Jesus.
and be like, at what point did you realize dudes jerk off to you?
Oh,
At what point did
that
you
is
realize?
a great question.
That's a good question, right?
Yeah.
Maybe she'd be offended. I hope not. She's cool as fuck. She wouldn't be offended by that at all. But I would love to, like, there's certain things
Warm
where
her
you're
up
like,
to that question. Warm her
I would
up
like
a
to
little.
ask a genius. I would like, if I had
Elon Musk.
if I had Elon Musk on, I'd get him high like Rogan.
Elon,
did.
when did you realize someone started jacking off to you?
Yeah, Elon, dude. When did you realize people
All the
were like,
environmentalists are like,
cars?
oh, Elon Musk,
Oh man, they're fucking
Tesla.
damn. They're getting their hands wet before they go downstairs with that guy. Yeah, for sure. I would, but I've definitely asked him. I'm like, when did you realize? Oh, I am. You guys are really dumb. Even if you're not dumb, I'm so much smarter than you. Because that's like,
Yeah.
how often you get to pick the brains of people like that. So I want to know what point in your wrestling career where you're like, oh shit, I'm like really good at this.
Man, it's I mean, you have some moments, but it's never like, for me at least, it's not a permanent thing.
Did you pin someone once and think like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Did you think to yourself, I'm going to step on your throat on the way
There was
up?
a lot of moments like that. There's a lot of moments like that. But like being a fighter or wrestler, like this is the old philosophy thing. You step in the river and it's never the same river and you're never the same man. So you can't live on any badass thing like that for long. You got to constantly, and the same thing with comedy. You got to constantly show up and be
No,
funny.
I'm still riding the wave from a set I had 7 years ago. I just
gotta-
talked about that LA set from
you
2
gotta-
years ago. No, I'm kidding.
But
I hear you. No, you're right. You got to
I
be like a
re-
closer mentality where it's like,
Yeah.
you don't get too high with the highs, you don't get too low with the lows.
But
You
I
gotta-
do. I get super high with the highs, almost to like a manic state sometimes. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. But
See, I'd like to hear that,
But
though.
no, I do, man.
That's great. Maybe it's not. I don't know. What
I
I'm
had a
talking about.
coach. I had a coach like early on tell me like, don't be a fan of yourself, and like I have someone on my level that's a really good wrestler who's like dad literally taught him not to have fun with wins or losses. Like, so he's like fucking Van Damme no matter what happens. I'm like, fuck that, dude. Like, celebrate, have fun. Like, you know, I'm depressed as shit, like crying, drinking wine, watching Rocky marathons when I lose.
Big bowl of ice
For
cream.
like, yeah, fucking bowl of ice cream, being a little bitch. And then when I win, I fucking relish in it. I have like victory weeks. Like every year in college, I had something called Victory Week where we just got drunk and played softball all week, like in the middle of our college. And
That's
like,
great.
I enjoyed the fuck out of my wins. But then there's like a part where you gotta like reload, and you can't like think like, oh, I'm an All-American now or I'm a national champ now. Like, I'm at this level and no one can knock me off it, because you will be knocked off right away.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah, you don't wanna get
that's what I'm
complacent.
talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy my wins like crazy. I'm proud of the stuff I've done. I wish I've done more. So it's like a never satisfied thing, but I do enjoy my victories, and I let myself enjoy victories. Like, it's seriously, that's what I call it. It's a victory week. Like, it was funny at Pat's, we had like a teacher that would do a victory day whenever any team won he was the coolest teacher. But he would just let us fuck off, and we'd eat food, and like, and St. Pat's where we went is really like strict. You can't even chew gum, you'll get fined. You can't.
You know, it's
you-
weird.
like-
it was strict, but it wasn't strict.
Oh,
if you
I
ask
got
me.
away with so much shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we had to tuck in our shirts, you had to
Yeah.
wear a belt. You couldn't have hair an inch past your ear. Like, the
Yeah.
haircut you had right now probably wouldn't
No.
fly at all.
But I had something similar to this a couple
Did you?
times.
You
Yeah.
couldn't have facial hair?
Yeah.
James, even if you were senior high school, you could not have facial hair.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd get a shaving fine,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
like $1 fine. And I would purposely, me and a few other dudes would purposely not shave on Fridays, so we would have a little bit of scruff, which was
So, for
so
the weekend?
minuscule. So that way, it
For
wasn't
the
for the
weekend,
but
just like
dude,
the girls, like, hey.
well, here's what we would do, though. It wasn't even, because, no, that wasn't the look back then. The look was clean shaven back in 2003 when I was a senior. That's how old I am, man. Yeah, so old. But so in 2003, what we would do is, because you get a shaving fine, it was like $1.
Yeah.
It meant nothing. So you'd pay $1 to get out of class for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because
So you're-
some teacher would
Take a little
inevitably
break.
some teacher would look at you and be like, wait, you didn't shave. Go get a shaving fine. And they'd write up a thing, and you would go.
It's usually when you do something to piss them off, then they realize whatever they can give
Yeah,
you
then
a
they
fine
would
on.
then they would pile it on.
If you mind your own fucking business, they usually don't. Yeah.
What a weird, shitty mentality that is, to be like, oh, you didn't
Hey,
do your homework?
fuck you.
You didn't do your homework? How else could I ruin your life? All right, well, your shoes untied, that's fine. And this didn't happen. And, oh, by the way, your mother never loved
Yeah.
you. Like, it's like,
Fuck you.
why are you shitting on me when things are already bad? Have some sympathy. Maybe I got something going on at home. That's why I didn't get to your fucking homework. I didn't care to read Beowulf or some shit. Actually, my teacher who recommended Beowulf actually loved Miss Callahan. She was great.
Book.
But
good book.
It wasn't bad. Beowulf was pretty solid. I don't know why I use this as a reference. Maybe it's the only literature I remember.
Good book that you remember.
What is Grendel? Is that shout out to Grendel?
Shout out to Grendel. But dude, man, we would get the shave on just so we'd be out of class and then we wouldn't have to shave that night. So it'd save us time. So you get you pay $1 to miss class for like 20 minutes or so.
But Pat's doesn't give you shaving cream, right? They give you
Coach Lucas, who was the co-dean.
Yeah, that's what he was there.
He would give us Edge Pro gel. He was a good guy about
the man.
that. He was great. That dude is the man.
I got away with a lot of shit there.
Yeah,
because he was the football coach. If you played,
play football?
Yeah, if you played,
I played football for a little bit, and that was enough for me to
lot.
get away with stuff too. Yeah, he wasn't just about. He once told. I think I was in the room. I don't know if he told me directly, but his whole point was, if you're giving back to the school, I'm going to let you go on something. Meaning, if you were on yearbook, if you were part of the robotics team, if you were like whatever, I'd cut you a break and let you, you just got a few detentions. Here, I'll mark it off as if you served them already. Time served.
Did you ever get those Saturdays where you had to pick up trash and shit like
I actually got away with. Me and 13 kids got accused of cheating, which I did not do, and neither did the 13 kids. We did not cheat, but they said we cheated.
Yeah,
they said we cheat. We did not cheat. Okay. The other 12 members had to. They had to set up for bingo all summer long. I got out of bingo by saying because I had a job. I had a job working with the Cook County Board of Pensions, a 9-to-5 job. So I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't. And so I got out of it.
Was
for whatever
Preslack
reason.
There for you?
Yeah, he was there actually.
Rudy, is he alive? He's
no,
dead,
he died
right?
a couple years ago. Our former dean, everybody at the high school we went to. But here's a fun high school prank. It was a stupid prank actually. We all met up. I snuck out my back basement door in high school, and my friends picked me up in the alley. I didn't have a car in high school.
Yeah.
And my one buddy had a car, so we all drove. Everyone had different masks on, which made watching this, because I got to see the surveillance, it made it really funny.
Yeah.
I was wearing like a Jason mask. My one friend had like a gorilla mask. My other buddy had a clown mask. My one friend wore pantyhose on his head. Another dude had like a Power Ranger mask. Another dude had a Ninja Turtle.
Oh.
So we were all going to wear masks. We were going to go to the school. The idea was for our senior prank was to like tape up all the front exit doors, like tape it up completely, and then we had bleach, and we were going to write.
That would be bad nowadays.
Yeah, right.
Tape up the door.
That would not be good. No, for sure. This was post 9/11, but it was still a little bit different,
we missed one. He's still inside.
Yeah, school shooting was not as common as they are now. This was at night though.
Yeah.
And
it's a dark episode.
It was, right?
I like it.
It was dark. We had Jonah Jerkin's heroin family 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we took bleach and tried to write on the lawn "Shamrocks Till We Die," but like some janitor, some lights went on, and everyone freaked out. And our one buddy, John Ferrantino, was the lookout. He was driving around in his nice red caddy.
Way to blow up his spot, Joe.
I'm blowing him up. I'm sorry, Ferrantino. I'm naming you. I think he's got like a lawyer now, so he's great. He could get out of this.
He's all right.
His mom was a teacher
allegedly.
Too. That dude was,
allegedly.
I love that dude. But talking about Napoleon complex, man, he wanted to fight everybody every day.
Oh yeah.
I thought that guy was great. I love that dude because I had a bad temper like he did, so I related. But I was 8 inches taller. Anyhow, he was circling, and what's funny about it is like when they came, like when we heard someone's coming, we all book it. Now the next day was like I became friends with like the campus minister, and his office was next to the dean's. So they both had these TVs because like an old dean used to be in that office. They switched it out in different offices, whatever. So he had a TV on that had surveillance, which means when they rewound tape to watch previous shit, he got to see it. And they didn't know.
Awesome.
And I was in the room. I'm like, oh my god! So I got to sneak peek to see them rewind and go to that day to see the surveillance. And it's the funniest fucking video you'll ever see because it's in 3-second intervals, right? So it's not like all continuous. It's like you'll see me here, like,
So
and then
like
2 seconds later, I'm like,
away,
you're teleporting. You're like frame
Sounds
by
like
frame.
a Charlie Chaplin film. Or
And you see us starting to tape over something, and you'll see the red car off the reflection because St. Pat's is, if you're ever in Chicago, everyone go on Belmont West, 5900 West Belmont near Austin Avenue, and the school's all windows. It's just windows. So it's glass. The school's a reflection when you drive by. You can see your car
like
off
the
the
Louvre.
reflection. Yeah, it is. And that's what they modeled after, I'm sure. Very, And you see his car go off every now and then, but then he like called the one because it was really not everyone had cell phones, but a couple of people did. And you see my friend John, I'll give him a shout out too, John Starry. He like, and you see him answering his phone, like he even put his finger in his ear, like, wait, what? Security's coming. And then he cuts to like And then you see him go like this, like get the fuck out of here. And all of a sudden, all of us go this way, except for one dude went the other way. And then the whole thing's blank. And then you see him come back into camera to catch up with us. So he went wrong way this way. But what's so funny is it's like Clown Mask, Jason, Ninja Turtle, Power Ranger, Gorilla Mask, like all these masked dudes just running the fuck out of the way. Now, we all went down the street a couple blocks to a place called the Dog Stop to get some hot dogs.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, let's get our lie straight because we're probably going to get in trouble. And then we're all like, we're in masks. They're not going to know who's who. We just deny, motherfuckers. I then get dropped back off my alley, sneak back to the back basement door. Cubs night game, came back up because I had the basement TV on. Said to my dad, like, oh, well, Lou hit a home run. Nice, you know. And then a couple days later, I got called into the dean's office. This was Preslack saying, like, we know you were there. We know you were one of them. Which one were you, Pantyhose or were you Gorilla Mask? And in my brain, I'm like, I was Jason. Like, you know, I was Jason Voorhees. God damn you. You
thought
know?
a lot about that.
Yeah, but I just basically said I wasn't there. I was at home watching the Yeah, I was at home watching the Cubs game with my dad. You could ask my dad. And, he was like, all right. And I left the room, and my other friend said, Cubs played during the day that day. He's lying to me. They didn't. They played at night. He was wrong again. And so I went home and I said, Dad, a bunch of seniors made a prank. I know a couple of them. I wasn't there, though. Remember, this was Monday night. We were watching the game. He's like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, Lou hit a home run. Because he remembered that because I came up going, oh, Lou hit a bomb, you know?
That is genius.
My dad had no idea I left the house.
Ironclad, dude.
Right?
Yes.
Dude, I was good, man. I was good.
Hell yeah.
I remember one time flicking a pencil at a friend of mine and it landed in this lizard cage in Coach Seibel's chemistry class because he had like animals too. Or no, the snake. He had a snake. And then like I'm trying to like be like, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, the pencil is in. What the hell's a pencil doing in there? You guys playing games? I'm like, no, the pencil. I went to hand it to him across because I had extra, and then it slipped and it fell in. He's like, oh, okay. No, I totally fucking.
Yeah, you get good at bullshitting,
dude. You gotta be quick.
It's hard to explain, Pat. Though it's an all boys school, so you don't have any girls to hit on, so you just fucking pull pranks.
I'll say this
on teachers and your buddies.
Yeah, on teachers for sure.
How much shit can you do without getting caught and getting in trouble? That's at least the game I played. It was like
we had
always was doing dumb shit like that. Everybody would do that though.
I don't want to say this guy's name, but
I know
was Robo Teach there?
Allegedly,
I don't know if he was still there. So there's one teacher. He walked like this a little bit.
He was a robot.
He walked like a robot, so they called him Robo Teach, and they would do like RoboCop, but Robo Teach, like Robo Teach coming, like you know. And this dude, Sean O'Malley, I remember Vince Giroir. Sean O'Malley did a fucking hilarious. Was it Sean?
There was so
Sean
many
O'Malley's brother is
that
Connor O'Malley. Connor O'Malley, everyone look up on Twitter or Instagram. He's a writer for Seth Meyers, and does these great. He did these great like Trump videos back in 2016, where he was like an obsessive Trump fan, and he's like Trump, oh my god, like look up Connor O'Malley. The dude is hilarious. His brother Sean, I went to high school with, and. Fucking,
I knew some
I had
O'Malleys
so many
too,
funny people I went to high school with. But the thing with going to an all-guys school, and look, it sounds like we're knocking our high school. It was a cool upbringing. They did straighten you out. And they did teach you to be respectful of other people, which is really big. It was a good education. The fact that it was all guys, I feel like made it so that there was no cliques.
Yeah.
Because I knew dudes, it's like, you know, people on the football team would like hang out with people who weren't. Like, it wasn't all like, oh, this is our table, that's your table.
Everybody.
You know?
All inclusive, all boys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you had your buddies, but
it's weird because the way I looked at it is like there's no reason to fucking be impressive. Like, who the fuck are you trying to impress?
We had a thing called Dirty Pants Friday.
Like,
everyone wore dirty pants on Friday. There's no hot girls. There's no one to impress.
There were select few dudes that try to dress really well. I'm like, who the fuck is this for?
What are you doing?
There's no girls there. There was a couple of girl teachers that were hot every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah.
It's probably who it was for. Probably.
Yeah.
They probably always these rumors like
every year Mrs. So and So fucks a senior. Like every year we talked about that. You're like, yeah. I know a guy who did it. Like I know my friend's brother.
Knows a guy.
Yeah, my friend's brother.
Never that guy.
Everyone knows the guy.
And then someone's always like you didn't. You're like, you know, like guys are always pretending like I did it. You know, like maybe it was me. Yeah. You know, I was a senior this year.
Yeah, it's my turn. Baby.
No.
I put in my 4 years. It's my turn to get on that ride. Yeah, everyone knows the guy. Everyone knows the guy that's, you know, oh, I banged Mrs. So-and-so. Or, dude, I get laid in Canada all the time. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Like that dude. Man, but it was fun. It was fun 4 years there. I really, it's sad because I think Catholic schools, by the time my kids are old enough, I don't see the future.
You think they're going to survive? It's like 12 G's to go there now.
Yeah, it's 12 G's to go there
now. Some people are like, it's worth it. I've like talked to some people. I'm
You
like,
say it's worth it
that's
still?
absurd.
Well, I know the enrollment's down a lot. I wish I could. I did a fundraiser for the hockey team. I would do other fundraisers to help make it. For more scholarships were available because it's a great school and it was a great experience. I'd like my kids to go there and all that. But
We should make a St.
I wish it was a little
Patrick
more
High School
diverse.
ad right
The
now.
diversity would be nice if they had a little bit more of that. Because I think as in my 20s, meeting people from different walks of life. It does really expand your horizons.
Yeah.
It really does make you
prepares you
see
for the
more.
world.
It does, right? So
Man.
kind of like that. The public school has gotten a little bit better. The reason I think the enrollment's gone down, the biggest thing that people don't account for this is that the middle class has not grown. The middle class has basically stayed the same.
Yeah.
Tom Segura had that great post that I think you shared because you were at Towns. One of you guys shared where Tom Segura, I was a super famous comedian. I don't need to give you guys his credits. He basically made a tweet going, why is it that MCs and features pay at comedy clubs has not changed in the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Which is true. I remember the first time I worked a club, I was 2008, and the pay essentially depends. There's A-list clubs and B-list clubs, but the A-list clubs have stayed the same.
Yeah.
So like the big-time clubs, they're paying the same 11 years ago as they are today. Which
The
is
least
nuts.
they could do is adjust for inflation.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's like that's still the bottom of the barrel because now these clubs are making absurd amounts of money.
Yeah.
Because their drink prices have gone up.
Way up.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
ticket prices have probably gone
Way
up.
up.
So shouldn't the comedians' pay gone up?
Absolutely.
I know that's the thing though. Comedians are so desperate; they come off as desperate. I always say if you're a comedian and you run an open mic for free, you're a moron. You're a moron because these bars in any of these cities
Yeah.
You're
will
giving
pay.
them business.
Yes, you're bringing in
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
They will pay trivia guys money sight unseen. They will pay karaoke people sight unseen.
Yeah. It's
I've
like
seen
people's jobs. Like,
People will
I
pay
host
karaoke $200.
Yeah.
And I've seen it where it's like there's 7 people here.
So we did a rooftop show, as you know, last month.
That looked
for Stand Up
cool.
Stand Up. It was really fun. It was great. And there's this chick who came and she works at a building downtown and she's like, you guys need to come do one of these shows at the rooftop. It'd be great. How much do you charge to do that? And I was like, charge? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this was free. We're not getting paid for this. And she was blown
Yeah, of
away.
course.
Like, that's how. And I'm nobody, but I've been operating.
You
at
ain't
a level-
nobody.
I ain't nobody, but I've been operating at this level for 7 years now, and I don't expect money for stuff
see,
like this.
we all gotta
And
drop
we
that mentality.
Should. Yeah.
What's the best line in the movie The Dark Knight? One of the best lines in the movie The Dark Knight. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Never do it for free. That's right.
That's what the Joker tells all the other mob guys
Man,
when he
Yes.
goes in
Insane people are always right, Joe.
That's right.
Mob guy?
Clarity and insanity.
there. I had the mafia guy buying me ice cream. Yeah, there is clarity and insanity. That's right, man.
I don't want to be this guy, but he fucking gets it.
He does get it.
If I could take some of this.
That's why he has followers. Just saying.
For sure. Well, so the middle class isn't grown, so a lot of these Catholic grade schools
Yeah.
are closing up left and
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Catholic high schools. Gordon Tech became DePaul Prep, and that went co-ed. I mean,
Mother
I'm doing-
Guerin and Holy
listen,
Cross.
Sorry, national listeners, I'm getting a little Chicago-centric, but this applies to a lot of cities across America. I don't think, have people gotten less religious? Sure,
Yeah.
they have, but they'd still value going to a private school over a public
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
A lot of the public grade schools in Chicago are very good. The Catholics, the
Yeah.
Catholic high schools are just better than the public high schools. I wish it wasn't the
Yeah.
case, but a lot of them are. Although Taft has gotten better, which is like the main
Taft
one on the
was
Northwest
terrible
side.
still when I was
But the
going
reason
into
it
high
turned
school.
around was because my favorite teacher at St. Pat's became the principal there.
Really?
Yes, this guy, Mr. Grishaber,
Mr.
was
Grishaber sounds. I don't know. When did you leave, Pat?
maybe before you. When did you
Okay.
start there? You were 6 years after me, so you
Oh,
started like 09 or
09.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so
no. I left in 09.
Oh, so
I got there in 05.
maybe it may have been his last year there.
Okay.
Maybe it was
Grishaber
last year
sounds
there.
familiar.
Yeah, he taught this business management class. He was the most honest teacher I ever had. I liked the honesty from him because, and I had so many great teachers at that school, but the honesty from him, we're talking about being authentic. He said a thing to us where he goes, listen, no one's going to be in trouble here, but I want everyone to, if you were in a car that had open beverages, I want you to raise your hand. That reminded me I need another beer. By the way, we're drinking Big Brother Hard Root Beer,
Yeah.
which was an impulse buy at the Aldi.
I was expecting the old style.
Yeah, old style's normally a staple. So anyway, our teacher said to us, he goes, if you were in a car that had an open container this weekend, raise your hand. No one's in trouble. Maybe 3 or 4 people actually were brave enough to be like, yeah, we cracked open a couple of Miller Lights in the back seat as we were driving to Wendy's or to
Yeah.
Toots, which was the big hot dog
Toots,
stand.
man.
Toots, yeah, everyone had hot dogs.
Oh, toodaloo.
Hell yeah, dude.
The
They used to have
commercials.
commercials for Toots that Steve
So
Wilkos.
cheesy.
Steve Wilkos, who was Jerry Springer's #1 security guard, would do the commercial for Toots.
Oh.
Toots drive-through, Montrose and Central. Go to Toots, get mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
Jerry Springer loves them. It's like, Jerry's not in the commercial, dickhead. I think you're lying right now. Which was a hilarious commercial.
Oh.
So, a few people raised their hand. A few people with the guts. But then he said to us, he goes, if this were 1979 when I graduated high school, everyone's hand would be up.
Mm.
And then he said to us this that blew my mind at the time because at first it didn't make sense, but then it did. He said, if life were fair, I would have over 10 DUIs.
Ooh.
And I never heard someone say if life were fair, negative stuff would have happened.
Damn.
Because everyone always goes, if life
that's
were fair,
profound.
right?
That is really is.
That stayed with me because I remember being like, damn, that's a good point. It made me think of all the stuff I've gotten away with instead of all the things. Because when you get caught, you go, life's no fair. It's like, no, life is fair. You deserve to get caught, dickhead. You were being a prick, and now you're being treated as such.
Damn.
And there you go. So
I
when he
gotta
said
remember
it,
that.
so he basically said, if life were fair, all this horrible stuff would have gone down. But it didn't, and
Yeah.
And so that kind of made me go, I kind of like that. And then he showed us this great documentary, everybody. Maybe I've said this on the podcast before, and I apologize. It's a documentary about Dave Thomas. Have you ever talked about this from Wendy's?
Don't remember.
Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, owned 4 KFCs before he ever started Wendy's.
Really?
And he told Colonel Sanders to put his mug on the bucket, as he said. That's the quote. He goes, hey, put your mug on the bucket.
Dave Thomas told him.
He told him to put his face on the bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. So anyway, he then started Wendy's, which he named after his daughter, of course. Now, Wendy's burgers are different from McDonald's and Burger King and other fast food places.
Yep.
There's something very specific that's different about their burgers. Do you know what it is, James?
They are square.
They are square
Yeah.
cut as opposed to round.
Yeah.
And the reason they are square cut, Joe, James, listeners,
Dad.
is mom, son, daughter, is because Dave Thomas didn't believe in cutting corners.
Oh,
That's
I did.
why Wendy's burgers are square cut.
That's awesome. That's in
Pretty-
one of his commercials, right?
I don't even know if it was in a commercial. We saw it in the documentary. It was in the
That is
documentary.
awesome.
It's pretty dope. I always like that.
You know what? The only thing, Wendy's, I don't like their fries.
No, their fries
But
suck.
Frosties.
What?
I don't like Wendy's fries.
You like
You had Wendy's fries recently?
Do you
Oh, the
dip-
sea
do you-
salt is better. Now
Do you
that they did the
dip
sea
the
salt
fries
thing-
in the Frosty?
Every goddamn time. You
All
better
right,
believe it.
That's different. That's like the Dunkin' Donuts donut in the coffee thing. I don't do it. Well, I don't do.
Well, let's
When's
talk
the
about
last-
that.
Hold on.
I
When's the
don't do
last
the
time you had?
fries.
When's the last time you had Wendy's fries?
Shit, man. I went back when I moved home. I had like a day where I'm just like, I'm fucking getting a spicy chicken sandwich. That's what I like at Wendy's.
I'm
And
telling
I
you,
had their fries, but they never.
they changed the recipe.
There's salt on them.
There's not only
Well,
is
you
there
need
salt,
salt's important.
but they're fried in
'Cause
better
my-
oil.
Better oil?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a difference maker. I haven't
Try
had
it
Wendy's
out.
fries in a long time.
Well,
I'll admit
Wendy's
that.
does the whole thing like recently, like, oh, we have
Burger King's fries got
we have
better.
salads now, and it's like I don't fucking go to
We're
Wendy's
not
for
going
Gross.
to
salads.
salad. I know.
Gross.
I used to get the wraps from McDonald's when I was trying to be healthy on
Me
the road.
too.
Because as a comedian
Gross.
on the road, there's no healthy options on the
yeah.
road.
No,
If you're driving and you're starving,
we have a viewer who says McDonald's fries are the best.
That's
They are
right.
the
Which
best.
is
That's
which
right.
is
No, they are.
absolutely
salty,
true.
salty,
that's
delicious.
not
Yeah.
even a controversial statement.
Noah
McDonald's
Dempsey
fries
is
are the best.
correct.
Thank you, Noah. If I had my perfect fast food meal, I think I would do In-N-Out Burger with McDonald's fries.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I think In-N-Out. Here's the thing: I know a lot of people who Shake Shack has better burgers. Shake Shack's burger is really, really good, but 3 bites and it's gone.
I don't think I've ever had a Shake Shack.
There's one downtown. There's
Yeah,
a
but
couple.
the line's always out the door. I don't
Yeah,
wanna go
there's
in
one
there.
in
You
Lakeview,
do the
not
animal
too far from
style.
here.
Do you do animal?
Yeah, I did
style?
animal style.
Double,
for
double,
In-N-Out.
baby.
Double animal style. I always liked a lot.
Yes.
All right, so you're a big food. Before the food thing, though, because you have a new thing you do. You have a new
Yeah,
Instagram account that everyone should follow. It's called Chow with Rao. You gave me. I had the shirt because I wanted to show it off. What did I do with the shirt?
I'll go hot for it.
Oh, here it is. Well, I got it. Sorry, everyone. You're by the way, you're classy. I do this whenever I've done the score, the sports radio
Yeah,
station.
yeah.
I'll bring like a little something for them. I gave them like Comedians You Should Know T-shirts.
Yeah,
last time I was
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and then I unopened packs of baseball cards from 1990. I gave them. You gave me this great shirt called "Eat with Joe, Chow with Rao."
Hell yeah.
That's
Joe
great.
Rao. It's a really cool ass shirt.
That
that
one's
a great
like that's
shirt?
like the baseball cut kind of coffee drinking
It
shirt.
is a
I think
cool
it's a
ass
good.
shirt. It is
it's a
baseball
good
cut.
podcast shirt.
I'm gonna rock.
I
this
got
thing,
a
man.
tank that's more jabroni style, but I actually was listening to your one where you're like, no comedian should have a sleeveless shirt. So I'm like, I can't give him a tank. You were talking about another.
Sorry, Andy Fleming.
You
I
were
don't think I
blasting
love
another
Andy. He's so
comedian.
funny.
And you know what? I one time did an open mic with the sleeveless shirt on, and they like all were like, "What the fuck was that?" Like
People
after
don't
they
wanna
all
see your armpits.
they all mentioned it. They all mentioned
Did
it
they?
after, but I didn't think about it. Like I go to
No
open
shorts,
mics
no
with
short
fucking with like what I'm wearing, which is like sweatpants or short or athletic wear sometimes.
You got to understand the average comedian.
They don't like
or
that.
the average open micer. Some of these people who go to comedy shows, they see a buff dude like yourself
Yeah.
rocking the guns. I
Yeah.
just came from working out. Now I'm here to tell jokes. They think, no.
Fuck this guy.
They said, no, you go to your gym world. This is our playground.
our
I don't know
thing."
why you're
Yeah.
pushing me off my swing. That's how they view you. And
They
it's
think
stupid.
I'm the bully that beat him up or something. I don't know.
I had that dude when I started.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm not in great shape now, but I was a fucking Adonis when I started, dude. 6'1", 175 pounds of romping, stomping dynamite kid.
Fuck
I
yeah.
was, dude. I was.
Stomping, stomping,
Oh
dynamite.
man, I was. Dude, the tries were popping out of my polo. You have no idea. But anyway, I wasn't wearing a polo. I was fucking around. But I did wear Kramer shirts, though, because I thought that'd be my
Kramer
foray.
shirts.
I would wear these shirts. I called them Kramer shirts because I'm like, oh, I can't wear Cubs shirts on stage. And that was my whole wardrobe, Cubs and
Oh.
Nirvana shirts. And, yeah, but I remember one dude said, it was after maybe a month or so of, like, going out and kind of people being like, oh, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
Some dude said to me, oh, man, I remember when I first started on stage thinking, fuck this frat boy douchebag. And then other people
Yeah.
were like, I thought that too. And I'm like, I was not in a frat. I was
Yeah.
not, I'm not the furthest from frat.
I wasn't
like,
either.
I'm not that dude. I'm not a Chad. I'm not a guy that's like, hey, man, let's go on my parents' boat this weekend. Like, I come from a very middle class background.
Me too. But
you
it's
know.
weird by appearance. Like, so
I was a
I'm
public school boy before a Catholic school
they-
boy. I
me
saw
too.
both worlds, you know.
Me as a wrestler, a lot of wrestlers, like, now a lot of guys they want to put you in a box. Like, a lot of people didn't like me because I'm fucking goofy and I'm always fucking around. It's like, get serious,
Yeah.
And then comedians don't like me because they're like, this is some fucking jock. So I'm
Yeah.
in this middle ground where fucking nobody likes me. Wrestlers think I'm
Well,
weird for
we
doing
like you.
comedy.
We like you.
Hey, thank you guys. No, I have to win people over in wrestling because they think I'm so fucking weird or they don't understand me.
I think
'cause
that's better.
I'm cracking
that rules,
jokes all the
dude.
time.
That's almost better because then once they get to like you, then they really like you and they
Oh.
know for sure. And then you almost make them feel dumb in the process.
Yeah, when
I bet people be like, dude, I feel like a dick because I used to not like you. And then I realized, oh, this guy's awesome. I'm like, well, yeah, I am awesome. And sorry it took you so long to figure that out.
Well, it's probably intimidating for them because they're boring and you're not.
Yeah.
so many there's so much shit that like is just not like doesn't go well because I'm trying to, like they say, be true. Like, I don't know if you believe in this, but like I'm sure a lot of comedy is about truth, like your truth, and my truth is a little like weird. Like, people don't fucking like, I never talked about wrestling or trying to be an Olympian until like the year when I was doing like open mics a lot. The year I just missed the Olympics, like I started talking about it and trying to explain it to people. But like, what they don't get is like being an Olympic level athlete is a lot like being a comedian or a struggling musician. Like, when I made my first USA team, I was like living on a couch in St. Paul in like the hood, like
Yeah.
for $100 a month. That's what I was living off of, $500, and like, we don't make a lot of fucking money. Like, Olympic athletes live at or below the poverty line. There's
Totally,
only,
they
there's
definitely
only
do.
a few Apollo Onos or Michael Phelpses that get all the endorsements, and like
The subway money.
yeah, there's a lot that you can
Nice
relate.
pedophile
relate
cash
to.
coming through, right?
Pedophile cash. But like, yeah, but people don't believe you, and then like having to talk about my shit, like. But then I heard somebody say like there was a comedian that's a brain surgeon. He's fucking trying to crack jokes about his cat, and it's like, don't fucking talk about your cat. Talk
Yeah.
about brain surgery.
Yeah, no.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So then I started like trying to explain what I'm doing, and then it at least grabbed everyone's attention. Like, in 2016, like, it was fucking depressing as shit, the end result, because I went to Rio and I watched, and I had to just kind of like suck it up and be there for my teammates.
Yeah.
But I was doing comedy in the process, and I was
It'll
like,
probably help you through it.
like wrestling for 20 years, and then like a long shot dream like that, and coming like that close. The only way to explain it is like, the first time having sex, but like not like with your girlfriend vaginal sex, like first time anal sex in prison. Like, if someone pulled your heart out and fucked your heart. That's how I would talk about it. Like,
first time getting raped, I feel like is what you said essentially. First
Exactly.
time getting anal
I
sex
was
in
like-
prison.
yeah, I was like,
Getting anal sex in prison is the nicest way of saying I got
Yeah,
raped
yeah.
in prison.
that's what it's yeah.
Right? And essentially, am I
Yeah,
going too overboard with that?
No,
Maybe.
that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like someone ripped out your heart. That's how I used to start it. Someone ripped out your heart. That's how it feels. Like, everybody
Yeah.
know what that's like. But then someone went beyond that and fucked your heart. But
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
first time with your girrmand vaginal.
It's that scene
It's
where
like-
they take the heart out.
First time in prison, Yeah,
You know what's
anal.
throwing me off is you keep bringing up, but not like the first time with someone you love. Well, no, we get that, man. Clearly, if they're fucking your heart after they ripped it out, that's funny,
Love
dude.
can
That's
still
fucking
hurt.
hilarious.
Love can still
yeah,
hurt.
man. So this thing you love is now just fucking
So that's how I try to explain
gangbanging
it.
your whole family apparently or something.
Keep
I
that
don't know.
bit.
People
So,
could,
yeah, keep that
people could imagine that like prison rape doesn't feel good, and people
Just don't say the
people-
R word. Prison sex is the right
Prison
word. On a
sex.
podcast,
First
you
time-
could clarify. On stage, seriously, on stage.
Oh yeah, you got to be succinct.
Don't
on
say the
stage.
R
Dude,
word.
you just can
Yeah.
never say, even if you're
Okay.
making fun of it. I've seen female comics use the word in a way to
rape,
talk,
and it hushes the room.
Yeah, you have to be very. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it.
I-
don't
That's
do it
5
at
years
Kohl's.
in and you're really killing it. Yeah, don't do it.
Well,
at
I have
that
this thing that
hipster mic.
I'm trying to like work out where like I don't know if I can do it in stand up, but maybe in a skit. Like, can you imagine working your whole life to be an astronaut? Like, how many people get to do that and then actually get to space, and then you get in space and you're fucking up there with like a rapist?
Yeah.
Like, and this guy's raping you. Like, if you're calling down to Houston, there's nothing they can do for like 9 months. Like the whole country's
sounds
behind
like-
you. Like
That's
and
like
then
the
you got
darkest
this, like,
movie. That's a
captain
movie script.
You got this captain's log, like he's still staring at me menacingly, and then you get like Stockholm syndrome. You're still in space with this rapist. Like, what's Houston gonna do about that?
Nothing.
Like,
You're
son-
fucking 30,000 miles away. Oh, man, that's...
And then there could be a lot of good like zero gravity, like trying to get away from him scenes.
Yeah, it's a movie. That's why I envision it as like the darkest movie ever. There's the guy out there who's so sick. He worked his ass off, became a genius at math, went to MIT, got into the NASA program, became an astronaut. Just so, on the off chance he gets sent up into outer space with a female astronaut, he gets
It doesn't have to be female.
Yeah.
the male astronaut. You're right. Let's make it male. That's wrong of me to
How very
assume.
unwoke of you.
Yes,
Joe.
so sorry.
You assumed I was.
So sorry. I should not have seen that way. So just so he could get up on space with other beings that he could have at them, because there's nothing they could do about it, because he's protected by fucking the ozone layer amongst thousands and thousands
You may
of miles.
never make it back. That guy has
that
free
guy would have
reign,
to work out a lot too,
free
because
reign
what if
for,
he
like-
tries to rape someone who just
Yeah.
dominates them?
and your body comp goes down in space. So
This
how-
would be
how
the
do you
twist
keep
in the
those-
movie.
How do you keep those rape muscles strong? You know?
Yeah, that's right, man. And if you're weightless,
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this terrible?
no, this is great.
Yeah.
If you're weightless,
I mean, it's 11:43 at night. I'm sure this is fine.
I remember at
But-
the beginning of this podcast going, "Oh man, a lot of people are gonna be listening for this great inspiration," and now at the end they're like,
I don't want to be an astronaut.
Yeah, I
weird.
don't,
This
I'm
is
never
weird
going to
right
space.
I'm sorry, man.
"No, it's
No,
fucking,
you're fine.
it's a hilarious scenario." Well, look,
very
rape's
funny.
never funny, but I feel like you've almost kind of made it a funny scenario in the sense that the idea that someone will work that hard to become an astronaut just so they could do the most heinous crime ever. I like the twist being they try to, but they fail because they're not physically strong enough. And then all the
And he's
others,
just
say there's,
floating
say
away.
there's 6 astronauts,
You
he's
know?
the rapist, and then the other 5 are like, dude, we're way in better shape than you. And then they just
Sit
spend
the
the whole,
fuck
they
down.
just rape him.
Yeah.
They rape the rapist.
We're gonna teach you a
Is
lesson.
it okay to rape the rapist?
Yeah.
This is, I'm
I
gonna
don't
blame,
think
I'm
so.
blaming this on Big Brother's hard
Oh
root
my
beer.
God.
Yeah, this.
That's why this
I
got
also
weird.
had a terrible rape.
You know it's
rape
bad when
thing.
James doesn't even answer.
Oh my God.
Can you rape the
Well-
rapist? I looked at James and he's like, I'm not fucking.
yeah.
I had always had
Shit
like
on
a
that one.
terrible question I tried to ask, like, do any rapists wear condoms? Like, is there any
Some might.
rapist that's like, I don't know what you got, you know, or any rapist like they still have some sort of level of like,
I don't know, maybe.
this is awful. Like, I'm sorry. I
No, they
brought
look,
it here.
hey, disclaimer: Joe Rao, James Webb, Joe Kilgallon, all of us here currently speaking on Kilgallon's Pub. We are 100% against rape.
Well, thanks for
100%.
saying that, because before I thought
That
people
Joe-
might think
Joe
we
was-
like rape.
No,
Joe.
they
Like,
would
we
never.
thought we
Anyone
were
who
at
thinks that's
85%.
crazy. Anyone who thinks that's fucking crazy. Obviously, we can't stand them, but you know, as comedians, we're talking about. He was thinking of a scenario in which you're stuck.
I know, and we're not supposed to talk about this. And is there stuff we can't joke about?
No.
What's your
No.
mentality on
No,
You
that?
on
can
this-
joke about
no,
anything
you
if
could-
you make it funny.
It's gonna make it funny, and I feel like you did. If you were just saying like,
It was funny.
yeah, like if you were just saying something stupid,
This
like,
fucking
yeah.
and then I
wrestler
raped her, then I'd be
just
like, get the
made
fuck out of here!
a
Don't say
good-
stupid shit like that.
I'm just picturing like some rapist in you, and then like it's like an awful situation. Then he's like, "Give me a second. You know, he's like fiddling, trying to get this condom open. He's like, "Just wait the fuck there." You know, it's like it would be hilarious, but it's awful. Like, I don't know why I think of this bad shit, but I don't know.
No, I mean some of the darkest shit you almost have to think. You have to find.
Do you think
some
dark
funny
shit
stuff.
like that, and you're like, I can't use that. It's not my brand. That's not my brand.
Nah, I don't go dark in that regard. No, I'll touch on dark every now and then. I'll touch on controversial subjects, but I don't know if I do it in a dark way.
Like, do you like Jesselnick's style at all? Or are you like
Jesselnick's pretty dark. No, I don't. I like Jesselnick's subject matter.
Yeah.
Like how he'll go there. His style is not my type of style. I find it hilarious.
His last one wasn't as good as
I
the other
don't do
ones.
that style though. Like it's bait and switch. And what I give him tremendous credit for the fact that his bait and switch is still hard to predict.
Mm-hmm.
There are some comics when they do bait and switch where you're like, I could guess what you're going to do because I figured out your pattern. He's a video game that good luck unlocking those cheat codes.
And he's
Good
like stone.
No, he's great.
He's, like
he's great with that
when
stuff.
He's doing all that stuff.
You know, his one special though I remember it was called Thoughts and Prayers, but it was a straight up Hannibal Buress joke. I don't think he knew it or did it on purpose, but and then I remember someone tweeting going, "Isn't this Hannibal Buress joke?" And Hannibal responded to the tweet going, "Yep."
That's
Wait,
He did?
in the latest Netflix special?
What was
No,
the
it's 2
joke?
specials ago,
Okay.
not the latest
What
one,
was
the
the
one before
joke?
that. Basically, the joke was if you say, you're in my thoughts and prayers, you're literally doing nothing.
yeah. That's
And
true.
Hannibal had the same joke where
Oh
it's like
my
if someone
God.
says, "Well, I'm going to keep you in my thoughts and prayers," it's like, "Oh, so you're not going to give me money?
you think-
You're not going to do anything I actually need to survive?
yeah,
You're
but
just
like,
going to
what
think.
the-
You're going to
what-
think about me." That's
But
you're
what the
gonna do?
hell do you say? Like after I heard that joke, like we actually like warmed up for this talking about death in the
Yeah.
green room.
Yeah, because
we talked about that.
Jonah Jerkins,
But,
who's been on the podcast, was here earlier.
But I was at a funeral
He's a-
recently, and it just like it was my friend that died, and his brother was just like, I'm just tired of hearing people say they're sorry for me. Like I'm tired. That's all I'm hearing. And then
Yeah,
I just
I mean-
I got to him and his parents. I don't know what to say. Like
I try to make some
then I'm
jokes
like,
at
I don't
those
wanna-
things, but some
yeah.
of them are tough, man. Some of them are really
tough crowd.
Well, I mean,
funerals.
it's not tough crowd. I mean, I remember being at a wake. It was
Yeah.
an older person. You can't do this shit for a young person. But there's wakes where the person's like in their 80s. You know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
someone will say, "Don't they look great?" And it's like, no, they don't. They
They're
look like
all
someone who was sick for a
embalmed.
while and then died.
For what? A dead person?
Yeah,
They got
they're great
makeup
for-
on.
Yeah, exactly.
They're ready for daytime
Their
television.
lips are sewn shut. They look terrible. They look like
Well-
they had last 3 months of hell and
Well,
then
that-
succumb to the worst fear of every person who's alive.
That whole industry is BS, and I went on this rant about it. And
What's
then,
the industry? Are the makeup on dead people?
Yeah, the embalming and everything like that.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
What are
like,
they called? A mortician?
Mortician.
Yeah.
But like I went on this rant about that, and I didn't know my buddy's sister was like in school to be a mortician, and like I'm just fucking going on and on. He's like, no, and she waited.
Seems
for
kind
me.
of crazy to go to school for that. It should be like it should be like a 1 weekend certificate.
like a
You're
camp.
doing makeup
a
on a
camp.
mannequin.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you screw it up, right?
How mad could
Like
they be?
they're-
They're not gonna be like, "What the fuck? I never wore blue eyeshadow."
Their eyeliner's not gonna run. They're
Now
not,
we're talking about makeup on dead people. See, it's everybody.
I mean,
Everybody.
it
We're
will,
coming
but you
for
won't
everybody.
see him when it's
Yeah.
happening.
Like,
That's
oh
true, too.
God.
I think maybe
There's
the
nobody
kids
doing,
might
like,
be like, "That's not how my
Is there
dead
any-
mother looked."
Any
looked."
women like on Instagram famous for doing like makeup tutorials
I'm
on dead
sure.
bodies?
I'm sure there are. Sure there are.
Well, there's so many people famous for stuff like that.
Dude, there's people famous for everything these days, man. If you're into Pogs and you're like, I got a Pog collection from '92. Here's my Elf Pogs.
Which
You gotta follow
pogs are you talking
The
about?
See,
Pog,
James
the
knows.
Pog community.
Spell
James knows.
pog for
By the
me.
way, James, I'm gonna get you because you said you could do it. I got the Nintendo Classic. You're gonna be able to download all the games
I'll
on
put
it.
everything on it.
We'll do
bitch.
that, and then
Okay.
we can start doing like a
Yeah, I
Twitch
saw
stuff.
this
I actually
right
got a
here.
friend.
Cool.
If he's listening,
Yeah.
Jose, he's big on some Twitch stuff and some. We should get some collaboration going, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Anyhow, though, I want to shift gears a little bit with you.
Sorry,
You
we went on this tangent.
No, because you're
about-
an Olympic wrestler. We're hoping, dude. Everyone, Kilgallon's Pub is rooting for you. Obviously,
Thank you.
we hope you fucking get to the Olympics, man. That'd be fantastic. So good luck at the Pan American Games in Peru. That's coming up.
Yep.
And when? What month?
August.
So,
It's the
like a
start
month
of
away.
August, August 8th and 9th. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You've been asked, as most wrestlers are, about what's your career after MMA, WWE.
Yeah.
Tell us about you had an opportunity for something with.
Oh yeah. So I in 2017 I went to World Championships as a reporter actually because I tore my knee after the Olympics, and I went out there and I met Jerry Briscoe, and I didn't even know it was him. You know, like you guys were like, "Well, you going nuts?" I was like, I didn't even know it was him because you meet a lot of people at those events. You know, just
Totally.
guys. And he's talking to me, asking me about what I'm doing after and this and that, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. You know, like I would love to, I would love to do something, like comedy or something like that, entertainment. Like I don't know, I love that stuff. I don't know if I can go there, but he was like, okay, just listening to me and asking me questions. At the end, he's like, well, give me a call, if you're interested in joining the WWE. And Jerry Briscoe gave me his card, and I was like, holy shit. And at the time, I was wrestling up at 98 kilos, which is 216, and I was probably like 230, 240 at the time, so I was bigger,
Real quick, how much weight do you cut? So now you wrestle right now 191, which is 87 kilograms or kilograms, kilos,
kilograms pub.
Jesus, kilograms pub, baby. And so that's 191. What do you weigh right now?
I don't know. So like
I weigh about 191 right now.
Most wrestlers, like, we check our weight like 5,000 times a day. It's unhealthy.
How much weight do you cut though for?
So I'll tell you this. Like, when I was going 80 kilos, which is I made my first U.S. team at 80 kilos, I would weigh in and then gain 30 pounds back in like a matter of hours. And
dude, MMA guys are like that too.
I'd weigh in at 176.
They get down to like a weight, but when the time you actually see them, you're like, there's no way you weigh 155 right now.
Like, there's extreme cases of it. And now we weigh in the same
Seems
day
very
as
unhealthy.
competition. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure I took, years off my life, but whoever said that being good at something is healthy? That's what I try to remind people.
Yeah.
Dude, you got your mind right, man.
Yeah.
I will give you tons of credit. That's why I was excited to have you on, and that's why I knew, because we haven't known each other very long. I mean, we have
crazy scenario.
We've known each other for a long time. Known each other because I knew you when you were 3, but like, it's not too often I'll just have someone on that I don't really know.
Yeah.
But dude, yeah, man, you got your head on straight, and I'm really glad I got you on this podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Not to kiss your ass there
dude,
for a minute
I was
or two.
so pumped, to be honest. This is my first like non-wrestling or MMA podcast, and I'm obsessed with comedy, so I was like, I was so pumped.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ever since you talked to me, I'm like, man, this is gonna be fucking awesome.
So do you think you would ever, not to switch, thanks for that.
Yeah.
But do you think you would ever go WWE, like do the NXT thing?
Or
you're not sure yet? You can't even think. You're too focused on the Olympics to even think about that, right?
Well, like, people ask me the MMA question too, and it's like I set this goal, and it's actually realistic now.
Yeah, it is.
Like, when I was a kid, and you said my slow success and all this stuff like that, I would tell people, like, I never had like unlofty goals. Like, I always was this little chubby kid, like, I'm going to be a state champ, and people were like, yeah, okay, like, I'm going to be an Olympian, and everybody was like,
I like that. Dream big, though.
I always dream big, like, even when it was unreasonable. But like, you want to accomplish unreasonable things, you gotta not think reasonably sometimes. And it was a little crazy to stick with this, like, despite my career. But like, I am so close to what I've always wanted of my whole life, and not that it's gonna give me happiness, like we talked about.
Yeah.
But like, I set a goal, like, and there's so many times I almost stopped, and for good reasons. Like, it would have been totally a good reason for like a million times if I would have stopped wrestling. No one would have been like, yeah, you got to stick with it. They would have been like, yep, makes sense. Yeah. And I stuck with it. And at this point, if I go off to MMA or WWE without my dreams fully realized, like, I feel like I gave up in a way. Like, if I have any body left to do MMA or WWE, it should be dedicated to wrestling.
Yeah.
Because and people think, WWE is like acting, but they put their bodies through hell. And people don't realize how hard that lifestyle is. I got Otis Dojovic and Chad Gable.
Yeah, dude.
They're my buddies, and their life is hard.
Well, they're working every single fucking day.
Oh my god! And then we go to like events to see them. They barely get to hang out with us. They'll like meet us. We'll get like maybe 20 minutes, get a quick bite, or like Chad drinks wine now because he's got to stay fit. He doesn't drink beer. Dozer has never stopped.
Sure.
Yeah. He parties hard.
Nice.
He's the man. Steaks and weights, baby.
Steaks and weights.
He's the man. He was built for that, and that's so awesome to see him go. But see, like, that was their dream since they were a kid. My dream since I was a kid was to be what I'm doing right now, which is nuts. And then, like, I always wanted to do comedy too. So, like, the only way I could even see myself doing WWE was, like, I've heard you talk about this and a bunch of other people talk about, like, doing something for the wrong reason, like using it as a vehicle to get something else. Like, I would want to be in the WWE to, like, do comedy or act. And why not just do comedy?
That's great. That's a great call.
What I mean?
Yeah.
If
If you don't love it, then don't do it.
Yeah.
I only asked because I thought I know you'd cut a killer promo.
I would love
because
doing
you're
that.
funny.
I
So
would
I think
love
you'd be
doing
good
that.
in that regard. I think we're getting to a point now where it used to be a thing with stand-up comedians where it's like, oh, you're in this other business. A friend of ours, Pat Tomasulo, he's in the
Yeah.
he's the WGN sports anchor.
Yeah.
And
My dad loves him, man. I saw
guys,
that
yeah.
little basketball bit with the little kids, and I seen him
Yeah,
at your
he's
show.
a really
and-
good dude.
Yeah.
When he first started doing stand-up, a lot of people in the Chicago comedy scene were like, wait a minute, this guy's on morning television every day. What does he need
It's
this for?
awesome.
And we forget that it's like, hey, it's weird because I remember thinking to myself, I stuck up for him right away because I was like, no, I saw him. He's funny, and he's putting the work in.
Yeah.
Because of his job, he's not going to be at every late night open mic because he's working.
Yeah.
He's got to be at work at 2 a.m. Like they do,
Jeez.
they're the 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. morning show. So yeah, I get that. But I remember saying to myself, listen, if a comedian works at a Walgreens during the day
Yeah.
or a McDonald's during the day or some shitty job, no one has any qualms about it. His day job happens to be a good day job.
He's got to be on.
Nobody like it. What difference does it make? Like we know a lot of comedians who have good day jobs. Actually,
Yeah.
there are comedians who have
Yeah.
very, very good day jobs. Nobody knocks them, but if your good day job happens to be something that gives you exposure,
Yeah.
that could help in comedy, people feel like that's a shortcut. It's cheating. I only think it's a shortcut in cheating if you're not putting the work in.
Yeah.
I mentioned Brendan Schaub last week on the podcast when I was
Yeah.
talking to Herb Lawrence, who's on the 670 Score, great dude. I always have to do that when I have people. I don't know
Great
why.
dude.
Great dude.
I mean, if
I'm
you're
that guy.
like
It's
total
I know this guy.
asshole,
Awesome guy.
You can't say like, "Hey, he was on the podcast." Fucking hate him,
Real piece of shit.
bitch. You
But
can't
we
say
were
that.
talking about how people get into comedy for the wrong reasons, and but Brendan Schaub was a dude who's made it in the UFC. We had like a 10-5 record, did pretty well in MMA overall. I think he played college football even too, and then was a funny guy. Everyone liked him. Was a killer on social media. His friends were like, "Dude, give stand up a go. You've always kind of
Yeah.
wanted to." He put the work in though. He was up
Yeah.
every night. He was trying to get good. He was doing this and all this stuff, and he even admits, "Hey, I'm going a different path than other people with this.
Yeah.
I know doing a Showtime special 3.5 years in might be crazy, but." But as long as you know and are respectful of stand-up and don't waste people's time on stage, I'm okay with people. Like if The Rock decided to start doing stand-up, I don't think anyone would give a shit. If Kevin Owens, if he started doing it, I don't think people would be like, no, he's coming from the right place. But I definitely think you have a lot of options, which is cool.
Thank you for saying
MMA,
that.
I'm a big fan of MMA, but I can understand you being like, I don't want to get punched in the head.
Yeah.
That's fine. Look, the wrestling aspect, I think I'd be okay. You might think I'd be a beast at it. I think I could fuck up some people. But you have to be really a little bit far gone
Yeah.
to that. Ben Askren, who is a famous college
Yeah, we were
wrestler,
talking about
Olympian,
him. Yeah.
dude, he's great, and he was undefeated going into this. Got caught with a really crazy high-flying knee. What would you have done for that?
Okay, so
Obviously,
if a guy's
after
if a
fact,
guy's
it's a little-
running at you, and yeah, this is how me and my buddy talked about it. Like you have like matches where like in the starting of the match you're just out of it. Like and like in a wrestling match you might have a scramble, you might get taken down, and you can wake up like boom, okay, fuck, like I got to come on, wake up. But in a fight, you don't have that luxury sometimes. If you're like caught slipping, you're gonna get fucking kneed in the face.
Yeah.
So that guy ran at him. He's probably gonna knee him in the face, right?
Yeah.
His reaction should have been probably kind of back up a little bit, shuffle one side or the other, knock it out of the way. You know what I mean? But he like put his head down and tried to grab his legs, like catch him in the air.
He put his head into a knee coming full speed at him.
Fuck. But I mean, I
I
really
thought he was dead at first.
Yeah,
really-
he didn't move for like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
You watched it, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to Blake's?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It
nice.
was
I wanted to go,
terrible.
but I was too tired. I didn't leave my house. I illegally streamed it.
nice.
Cut that. part
Shout out
from the
to Dana
podcast.
White.
Yeah, what's up, Dana White?
Fuck you, Dana
Fuck you,
White.
Dana.
Yeah, dude. Fuck ESPN
Fat
Plus.
bitch.
Suck my dick.
I watch everything on Twitter. I just wait for people to post it.
Yeah,
Fuck
I'll see
Dana
it
White.
eventually. Pay $60. Come on, man.
No, but he basically shot like a wrestling shot to like kind of tackle his legs, which is awful if someone's running into you because you're literally pulling his fucking knee further into your face.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be pretty impossible unless you like fucking superhero jump and meet him in the air like at his level and take him like
Which is hard to do when a guy's sprinting
spear him
and
like
you're not
fucking
quite-
Goldberg.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. Like he took like. I mean, a lot of what happens when you're fighting or wrestling, I think, is you revert to muscle memory. Like, I try and black out, like, now with booze. Like, I literally try and mentally focus to the point where I'm blacked out, like, clear the mechanism. Have you ever seen For the Love of the Game?
Oh, yeah.
Where he's about to pitch,
the
like,
perfect game?
clear the
Yeah.
clear the mechanism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? All the crowd, like, you can't hear it and shit like that. Like, my best matches, I'm literally, like, blacked out. I can't even remember what happens. But a lot of times when you're in that mode, you, like, revert to muscle memory. Like, what have you drilled over and over and over again? Like in comedy, I guess it's like, what are your go-to jokes that got laughs that you've done over and over and over again at the mics and like put time into. But you revert back to muscle memory sometimes when you get in the shit. And he like fucking went to like some kind of wrestling, like trying double leg when a guy just fucking started running at him. So, I mean, it was just fucking, I think he just had a brain fart, man.
He did at the worst
I think he would have won.
moment.
I think he would have won had he played it conservative, fucking little back.
He was the favorite. He was the Vegas
Yeah,
favorite.
out of the way.
He was the Vegas
But
favorite.
I know a guy who won a lot of money on that.
Betting against him?
Yeah.
Nice.
See, a lot of people wanted to hate him. I'm in between on Ben Askren. Look, here's the thing. I only wrestled for a year. I have so much respect for wrestling and wrestlers. A lot of my good friends, guys we mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Dom
in high school.
Angelo, what's
Dude,
up?
My buddy Pat Gamboni.
Yeah. Oh,
one of my best
Gamboni was
friends,
a big dude. He's
really good friend. Yeah, he
was a
he had the
beast.
record for a minute.
Heavyweight. Yeah,
Heavyweight record was like 41-3. My
Hell
buddy
yeah.
Duffy, Benson, like I mentioned, a lot of dudes. Kenny Shack. These guys are really good wrestlers in high school, but the wrestling style of MMA I find boring.
Yeah.
I don't like watching Ben
I
Askren
agree.
fights. I don't like watching
I agree,
Khabib
though.
fights because I just know I want to see someone possibly get knocked out. I don't want to see Khabib hug someone's legs for 5 minutes.
I agree.
And
though,
look,
man.
I get it. You're mauling the guy, and
Yeah.
when you're that guy, you're like, fuck, I can't do anything right now.
Yeah.
This guy is pinning me down, and I need to move or else he's going to choke me out. And some of the ground and pound stuff's great. I like that. That's fun. But overall, so I've never been the biggest Ben Askren fan, although I remember watching him on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
I got respect for this guy. This guy's cool. He gets
I got a
it,
story about him.
Yeah, let's hear this shit.
So
And we got to wrap up with your.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's not you. It's me, man.
So
Don't feel the need to rush.
So I told you
You're
I told you I started just reporting, like interviewing athletes because I felt like I could ask questions that were more intimate to who
So
the
you were
individual
interviewing
was.
athletes while your knee was injured, which I love
Yeah.
because you're like, I still need an outlet. I still need to be
Yeah.
involved, even though I'm not
Absolutely.
competing, which is super cool. You were filming this on your iPhone?
Yeah, just
And what
just
were you?
straight up.
Were you just posting it to like your?
I was just posting to social media
Nice.
things, and like I don't care who gets credit for it. And I was recording podcasts and articles for other people's websites, and I kind of just started throwing stuff out there, and then people
and they sent you this one.
Yeah.
What website sent you across the
5 Point Move. Shout out to 5 Point Move and Timmy Hands, and I've been
and-
on his podcast
And they
and
sent you around the
co-hosted it.
world.
Yeah,
That's cool, man.
and I was a
Really
reporter
cool.
at World Championships. I had like a press pass. I felt funny because everyone knows me as a wrestler and like a really like not one that's taken seriously by like the person I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm taken seriously as a competitor.
You're a
but
silly boy.
But they don't see me as like somebody who's gonna fucking come and be reporting and stuff. But I ran an interview. I was running interviews with athletes because I knew a lot about all of them, and it wasn't the same cookie cutter questions and answers. So I interviewed actually like my nemesis, the guy who I beat to make the U.S. team this year, Ben Provisor, and like we were talking about wrestlers in my sport, trying to like shit talk and like kind of like get more interest out there because I really do believe that like people want to see two people fight or wrestle or play basketball if they know some little history about them. If there's a tiff, if it's like, hey, this guy got with this guy's girlfriend and now they fucking hate each other, you're going to want to watch that fight more.
Jorge Masvidal was saying that like how much he hates Ben Askren. But Ben Askren is the best thing that ever happened in his career.
Exactly.
That victory has made his stock rise through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
The trash talk going into it has made his stock rise through the roof. So there is a benefit to the talking game. You know?
If you know things about the people, so that's what I was trying to accomplish and have fun. And at the World Championships, I was interviewing this guy, Ben Provisor, and I was like, you and Pat Downey been talking a lot of shit on Twitter, getting some looks. You got anybody you want to call out at the end of the interview? And he's like, yes, I do. And I thought it was going to be another wrestler, and he started talking shit on Ben Askren.
Really?
And like I'm just being like I'm just interviewing him, and I'm not like a reporter or a journalist. I'm an athlete, so I'm just like So Askren like actually sees
30, about to turn 35. I think he's a little bit older than me, or the same age.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
something like that. I thought he would see this interview, and he said stuff that fucking nobody in the UFC would even know what he's talking about. He's talking about some hometown wrestling club, like, yeah, he burned a Ringers jersey and whatever. It was like stupid, like Wisconsin shit that nobody them would know about. And then Askren like DM'd me on Twitter, and oh God, we're bringing up rape for the third time, but Askren is ridiculous because I'm gonna show you this. But like Askren lit me up on the DMs, and he's like, "This is not true. How can you put this out there? Like, what if I started saying like Joe Rao like raped a bunch of people in college and start lying about you, and then people believe me and all this shit?" And I'm like, dude, whoa. First of all, please don't do that. Second of all, I didn't think you'd ever see this interview that like 200 people saw maybe.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't think, and second of all, I didn't think you would get mad because you're in the UFC and you talk shit for a living. Like, but he was fucking heated. I was like, you want a rebuttal interview? And he's like, no, man. Like, and I'm
Jesus,
like,
Ben,
and
that's
Yeah,
way to
dog.
go. Way,
dude,
like,
I could show
someone
you.
makes fun of your shoes, you go to rape you,
Dude, no,
Jeez,
I'm going to
Lord.
show you this because it was too ridiculous to make up. And,
Damn, we should have let off the podcast with this.
no. Oh, let it off. I thought
No.
you said, I thought you got off.
No,
Okay.
I
Ben-
should have got off on Ben Askren responding. to
No,
your joke.
no. I thought you meant like went off the mic.
Oh no, for sure.
Look
no.
at this shit. Read that out loud.
That's
read
like,
that,
holy
read that
shit.
out loud.
This is
That's paragraphs.
read that out
Dude,
loud.
This is legitimately from the check mark is there.
Yeah.
That's
Can I show that? Can I put this in front of the camera?
Yeah.
Can I put this in front of the camera?
Yeah, I don't fucking care.
show that camera right there.
Could you zoom in to see it? Or
Now
we just-
Askren's gonna hate
Here,
me
give
more.
it to me.
Here.
And you know
Right
the thing
here.
that's terrible is like I was a huge Ben Askren fan, and he fucking hates
You
me.
think Ben is gonna get mad?
Yeah, who cares?
Whatever. I mean, Ben's got other.
Who cares?
Ben's-
retire now. He can't fucking
Oh no, I'm still.
Ben, but he had a good.
I'm
I
still
was-
a big fan. And I was
I
trying
res-
to.
Yeah, I mean we're all talking
No,
over each other.
sorry,
No, it's
sorry.
fine. I'm getting excited too. Ben had an interview
Just read
today
that.
where it made me like him
Oh,
more because
I-
he handled
I-
the loss
I love
well,
the
and he says
guy.
he wants to fight again. All right. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Joe, so I've heard that Ben Provisor has said many untrue
Shout out to
things
Ben
in
Provisor.
an interview that he did with you. I'm cool with people having negative opinions of me. However, when they start saying fictitious things, that gets dangerous. Many of things he said are untrue, and he has no way of corroborating the events he
was
claims
stupid
to be
stuff.
true, except saying, well, so-and-so told me. Frankly, this is slander, and it is a very slippery slope to go down. It is bad policy to let people do this. What if I said Joseph? He spelled Joseph wrong.
Yeah,
That's not how you
with
spell
an
your
F.
name, right? Yeah, he spelled it Joseph.
No, that's how I spell it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so he spelled it right.
Yeah,
Fuck, I'm an
yeah.
idiot.
He actually knows me because of this fucking interview and doesn't like me.
Are you? What's your background? Polish or German?
I'm Polish and German
Okay.
and Irish.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joseph Rao sexually abused a girl when he was in college.
What the fuck?
Some
is
people
this?
would believe this event was true despite the fact that I fabricated it. Hope that you guys hold people more accountable for the things he said. And then he goes,
What a fucking
It's
barrel of crazy, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then you respond with, it's an athlete-on-athlete interview, man. I was just trying to do some alternative reporting and trying to get interesting content. He said he wanted to call people out, and I didn't want to stop that. Sorry to slander your name. And then you write then, I know I am representing the media outlet that is 5 points, so I apologize for that. But what I was told was to run lax interviews, giving these guys on the team freedom to say and express themselves, so I went with it. Sorry if I was agreeing with him. I was just trying to run an interesting piece. I didn't know he was going to talk bad on you, blah, blah, blah. All right, now blah, blah, blah. But at that point in the interview, it was already said, and I have no editing albitism. That's a
I don't know
big
how to.
word, man.
I don't know how to fucking edit. I just send
I
them.
submitted
this
it
thing.
to 5 Point back home and I posted it. I don't know you personally, Ben. I'm sorry. The reason I asked the question was because he said he wanted to do something of that nature. I'm all for smack talking promotion we see in MMA, so I wanted to let him do it. Sorry to brush controversy, crappy on my part, all this. And then he responds, yes, I'm good with people giving their opinion. For example, if he said I suck or I'm a pussy or a loser or doesn't like me.
This is Ben Askren.
That's all fine and well. But when he says something like, I burn their shirts when that
Yeah,
is
it was about
complete
burning a shirt. That's so fucking stupid.
fictitious event that I made a joke about one time and they acted as though it really happened in other events.
He tried to
alluded
make.
to.
He was talking about
becomes
making me the
unfair
Cosby
because
of
he's-
wrestling. Because
No, I
of,
don't want to bother with a rebuttal. I
He
just
said-
want people to. Yeah,
Did you
because
see
you offered
what
them
he-
a rebuttal.
Do you see that he, like what he instantly threatened me with about like
No.
slandering me? I was like, what? Sorry for talking over you.
No, it's cool. I'm still reading this.
Yeah, you could keep reading out loud. I just like.
Well, here's
I
the
can't-
last thing
can't
Ben
believe
says
he-
because he basically says like, oh, you explain yourself. I feel you did a good job. You're like, hey man, we just put it out there. It's not. Didn't think it was a big deal. and all that
barely
kind of stuff.
anyone saw
He
it.
goes, I will tread more lightly, especially with other names that are involved, that kind of stuff. He goes, I don't know what else to say. You apologize, which I thought was classy on your end because you don't know what's true or not and all that. And he goes, Ben, all good. Not the first time this other Ben has tried to tell the same lies. Frankly, for a club he works for one time per week for less than a year, it's kind of shocking that he's so bold about it. Have a good day. And
He
you're like,
told
yeah,
me
no
to have a
problem.
good day.
Yeah, I mean, he ended. He started crazy.
He was concerned for
I'll
my
gi-
day.
I'll give Ben
Read
this.
the first
Dude, he
message
starts
again.
crazy. He starts basically by saying, like, what if I said Joe Rao raped people? Like,
And I'm
or
a huge,
sexually abused.
I'm a huge fan of him, so I'm like, what? Ben Askren messaged me. You know?
He
that
must
is
really
crazy.
like me.
Yeah, like
He
whoa.
ends it well. But you know what I gather from this? He ends it well, but here's what I gather from this. Clearly, he has been accused of shirt burning
Shirt burning,
before
bra burner.
a few times, and he is pissed about it.
I don't burn shirts.
I mean, it's a heinous crime somewhere.
Right? That's what my
probably.
thing is. In my head, it's like, it's such a ridiculous thing that you think you would respond to it once by being like, I burned someone's T-shirt. Like, what?
Yeah, like why
I
would
didn't
he care?
I don't know why someone's saying that. I wish I had. Whatever.
That's
Like,
what he was heated
He
about.
responds to it in a way in which he thinks it's on the level of being like, what if I said Joseph Rao
Yeah.
was, fingering women while they slept? Like,
Yeah,
he goes to
that's
a
literally what
weird. He makes a weird choice, is all I'm saying.
I thought it was
Anyway.
a strong start.
But I'm fairly.
He started with his best joke.
Yeah, but he had nothing at the end.
Yeah, soft ending.
I think it's safe to say Ben doesn't
Art
remember any of that thread.
He probably doesn't remember anything at all.
We should
That's what I mean.
screenshot
He
them
doesn't
all.
remember it. You should
I've had
hold on to 'em.
I've had a couple like famous people interactions on Twitter that were really interesting. I'm like, this guy's actually.
Do they all
messaging
start
me.
off the same way?
Yeah, they're all like, "What if I said this?" No, there was like a country
Did
music.
Kurt Angle once say to you, what if I said?
That would be awesome. But no, I had like a run-in with some country music star because this guy was like being creepy to my friend's my friend's girlfriend. And I got into it with all him and his fans. No. But I've had a couple weird interactions with famous people on Twitter. I'm like, they actually have time for me to be mad?
Yeah.
Dude, some of these people do. It's crazy, man. You know what he did do in the interview, though? Like, I respected Ben Askren had his
Fuck yeah.
interview today where he talked about getting knocked out, the fastest KO in, I think, MMA history, not just UFC,
Yeah.
but any promotion to
Yeah.
get fucking knocked out. It really got knocked out at the 2-second mark.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was 5 seconds because it took the ref that long to get over there. Anyhow, was that he was he was like, oh, this sucks, and he was like, I lost, and he owned up to it, and it was flying knee. I remember thinking, who gets hit with that? Anyway, he was like, he said, I don't like George, but I give him credit. It was a great move, all that stuff. But at one point he said, oh no, I haven't been following the social media stuff, and because Ariel, whatever his last name is, who's like the big MMA interview guy, he said, did you see any of George Masvidal's post-fight presser?
Yeah.
Press conference. And he goes, no. But then later he quotes him
I
a
don't
few
think.
times
I
from
think
it.
he's lying.
He
yeah.
lies. He definitely lied.
He lied.
He'd seen it.
Yeah.
I believe him when he said, oh, I'm not responding. I'm not reading all this shit on Twitter. I
But
believe
I think
that.
he did. I think he had a sad moment where he was concussed in the hospital and scrolling through all this shit and like.
He was honest where he said, I don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in the octagon. I don't remember anything after that. And then it came to later in the hospital where it's like, oh, I lost. And this is what, that's got to be the most scary moment as a fighter.
Yeah.
To be like, to wake up and be like, oh, I'm in the hospital.
Yeah,
and
losing
Yeah.
that much time.
No idea
No.
how it happened. I remember being ready to fight, and then the lights went out.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
I had my jaw broken. It was like that. But I will say that, like, I love Askren still, and I want him to win the fight, and I think that if he gets a rematch, he'll beat this dude. But, like anything could happen any given day, and there's no better example than a fight or a wrestling match. But I will say that, like, he handled it awesome in a way that I wish more fighters would handle it. And, like, I lost, so fucking what? Like, I talk to people, too. Like, what's the worst that could happen? What, I'm going to lose?
Well,
I'm going to hurt myself? Has that not happened before? Like, yeah, I could die. I'm not going to be alive to see it. But, like, the thing that sucks is the way social media is now, that when you're publicly competing in something and you lose, everybody's talking about it, especially for him. But
It's true.
We talked about Flow Wrestling, and they've given me so much love. And it's been big
Ben's
for me.
a part of Flow Wrestling, right? In a
Yeah,
way, or?
huge part of it. But, like, one time they posted a video of this world champion fucking me up, and it's like, and that sucks because you just have this highlight video of you getting your ass beat. And how do you handle that? Like, and people are tagging you in it and like, hey, Kirsty, isn't
Who's
this
the big stud now?
isn't this-
Burroughs? Is he the big
Yeah,
Olympic
Burroughs
stud?
is the fucking man.
Is he the GOAT right
Oh,
now? The best
yeah.
in the world?
He's
I saw a video of him
he's
throwing
gonna be
Askren
like,
around like he was
yeah,
a rag
he
doll.
fucked up Askren, and that was cool that Askren did that event.
because Askren's not his prime as a wrestler
he doesn't
anymore.
give a shit. That's what I love about him.
People
He's
want
like,
Burroughs to go
I'll
into
wrestle.
MMA.
Yeah,
I
know.
don't know if he will,
I don't
though.
think he will. He's gonna die as like probably the best ever.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He really is.
James,
So
you're going to chime in?
We got a question. Dempsey wants to know, how do you deal with a fight you know you're about to lose?
Ooh. Well, do you ever know you're gonna lose a fight?
Good question.
Well, I would say this, that the fight's never over till it's over. You could always get a knockout. You could always, pin somebody, take someone down last second. And I think that and that can relate to anything. Never cash out of something that's not over.
Sure.
Yeah. So I've like my proudest victories and my matches that I love the most are like those moments where I like last second just fucking pulled something out of my ass. Not, I could easily just pack up
The
and
water's
say,
coming up here.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not drowning today.
Yeah. And that, I'm sure you had so many sets like that.
Oh, yeah. The fun
Winning
sets,
people back.
Bombing my first couple jokes and then digging your way to the hole is very fun.
Oh, my God.
It makes me think of, this is for you, James Webb. What do we say to the angel of death?
Not today, motherfucker.
Yeah, I like the
Close
the
enough.
motherfucker part. It's pretty good. Well, now you're doing. We're gonna end it on this here because this
Yeah,
is a fun
sorry,
thing.
we've been talking all kinds of shit.
No, dude, we've had a great time. No apologies needed. You are doing a thing now. The shirt, it says, of course, says, eat with Joe, chow with Rao.
Yeah.
And the thing is the classic. We're a wrestling team we're an eating team with a wrestling problem.
Yeah.
And I remember the first one I saw you do an Instagram story. You had a buddy of yours who wasn't from Chicago,
Yeah.
but is a hot dog fan.
He's an Olympian, too,
He's
and,
an
and a
Olympian.
world medalist. Yeah.
Damn, what's his name?
Andy Bisick,
Hell yeah, dude.
the man, the myth, the legend.
And you took him around to all these different places, these
Yeah.
legendary hot dog stands in
Yeah, yeah.
Chicago. And he reviewed them. And it was fun to watch. 'Cause
Extensive notes.
Instagram stories usually are like, all right, hot girl, you're looking all right. Or, oh, cool,
Yeah.
cute baby, which I'm guilty of. And I'm not
Yeah,
knocking them. I like, oh, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
that's fun. Oh, you're doing this. You're on vacation. You're great. This was like a story that felt like it had a beginning, middle, and end. It was like
Yeah.
a TV show on Instagram stories where I'm like, all right, we're going to hot dog stand number 1. And then like
Yeah.
the next thing would be like, we're at this address. We're at Jimmy's Red Hots, 4,000 West Grand, 4,000 Grand.
They're awesome.
Jimmy's Red Hots, fantastic. Now we're over at, Wiener Circle. Now
Yeah,
we're at
yeah.
Monsieur Murphy's. Now
Yeah.
we're at I'm like, oh, this is badass. I felt like I'm following them around the city. I'm in the car. And your buddy's eating these hot dogs for the first time. He's rating them. He's saying, here's my
Yeah.
favorite. Here's this. And then, and that was cool. And so what is your
Thank you.
I want to ask you this. What's the craziest thing you've ever eaten in your life? Like concoction-wise that you thought this is unbelievable?
I've eaten a lot of weird things. I'm going back to Kazakhstan for the World Championship. So last time I was there, I ate horse and I drank goat milk and all this weird shit. That gave me food poisoning.
Yeah.
That gave a lot of us food poisoning. Weird stuff. I've never eaten any I ate
I couldn't eat a horse. I like horse.
I've never. I love horses, but we were just
we
were given food.
you didn't even know
And-
what you were eating, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even know when we were eating it. We just knew we were eating it. Like, this is a little gamey.
That's
Yeah.
my thing with certain animals. I'm like, you look too in shape to eat.
Horses
When I
are
look at a
jacked,
cow,
man.
I go,
Yeah.
I would like to eat you. Because cows are bred to be eaten. It's sad because apparently I read this thing that cows used to be one of the most intelligent animals on the planet, but we bred them to the point where they're just
To be
fucking dumb now. Because we just fucked with the course of their
The
freaking
human race.
evolution.
We do that to a lot of people.
It's pretty shit in a way, but yeah, I mean,
I've eaten a lot of weird stuff, but I don't know. I'll pretty much try anything food wise. Like if I'm in Asia and there's some weird bug shit, it might take me a little bit of like coaxing, but I'll eat anything weird. But
I gotta eat bugs on Sunday for a podcast.
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's
Fear factor.
We'll see if it's nice. Probably won't be.
good
Man.
luck with that.
But yeah, the show kind of started because for years I've just put like food on my stories on Snapchat and on Instagram.
You were at a place in Tennessee where there's a burger challenge or a food challenge?
Oh, I just did an ice cream challenge in Montana.
Montana.
Yeah. And I beat the record that's been standing for a while.
Yeah, because I saw a picture of you. You're in a booth at this real quaint-looking Montana restaurant. Now that you say Montana, I'm like, makes sense.
Yeah.
The whole thing's wood. And you're holding up what it looks like someone took out a loose-leaf piece of paper from like a meat
did.
notebook, spiral even, because you can see the edges, and then wrote your record on and said, here, hold this, we'll take a picture.
With
So
pictures on the wall.
They could even print a certificate. It's just like handwritten on marginal college rule paper.
They didn't take the like frills of the
No, they even
notebook
like
part.
they didn't even rip that part by the what's the edge there?
Yeah.
What the hell it's called? The
But
perforation.
The guy who had the record before is gonna be pissed though, because I heard that like he had the record for like
Some city boy came up to Montana,
Yeah,
beating our ice cream record. I don't know why Montana doesn't sound like that. I'm making them sound like Tennessee.
they almost sound more Canadian
Why,
than
yeah.
anything.
Do they? That makes
A little
sense.
bit.
They're right
Yeah,
there
yeah,
at the border.
yeah. But
Oh, he went due to his way to eat the ice cream. I don't know. What I'm saying. Oh yeah.
But
Don't you know?
But yeah, he's gonna be pissed because he had the record for years. Someone broke it. And he came back and beat it. So I gave them my number. I was like, if someone beats it, I will fly back.
That's some
And-
Babe Ruth shit. Babe Ruth famously gave a guy a tip. He gave like a bellhop a tip, saying, "Hey, what's the biggest tip you ever got?" And he said, "Oh, some big famous singer at the time, whoever it was, I can't remember the name, gave me $50." And Babe Ruth's like, "All right, well, here's 100. Let me know if everyone beats it. I'll come back and double it."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's some
Yes, Babe Ruth
gangster
grew up
ass
poor.
I
shit.
come back to him 10
People who
minutes
grew
later.
up poor and become rich, the best tippers.
Oh yeah.
Always the
I
best
tip
tippers.
very well, and I love going to restaurants. Like speaking of this, and like I totally get judged. Like I was recommended. I went to this place called Stacks on Taylor Street today, and she recommended like the cheapest thing on the item just by looking at me, and I get that a lot. So then I have like this. I don't have an ego in wrestling. I have an ego in eating. I'm like, oh, this bitch. Like I'm about to order like 2 meals and a side. This bitch really did.
Yeah,
this.
you could put some food away, man. I've seen the videos. Guys, you got to follow. It's Chow with Rao on Instagram,
yeah,
man.
Chow
It's
with Rao.
really good. Dude, I like that you're putting out content. You're almost like this business that's diversifying its portfolio.
Yeah.
Your main focus is the Olympics, and damn it, I want you to be there, man. So keep
Thank you.
doing what you're doing. You also have comedy right there. You got like things that filter into your comedy, man. You're interviewing other athletes. I just think you're doing. I just like that. I like people who are like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go do it.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
find a way to do it. And that's what you're doing. And it's fucking awesome.
I appreciate
Tell
it.
everyone over your other, I mentioned the Instagram. Where else could they find
Yeah,
you?
I'm also, all my personal stuff is Rousler, so like wrestler, but Row. So RAUSTLER. That's
Follow the Instagram. Stick to the
Rousler
That's
on
what you're killing
Instagram.
it,
That's
right?
my personal. And yeah, man, like I just love wrestling. I love cracking jokes and trying to make people laugh or entertain them. And I love food. And it's fucking stupid. Like the day we live in, we were talking about this, like, just everybody loves food. They need it to survive, right? This is fucking stupid. Like we're foodies now. Like what the fuck is wrong with us?
I know foodies.
We're
a weird
following
term.
foodies, but
Oh,
like
you like to eat? Wow, you're
who
different.
doesn't? Like
You're
I
different.
met one guy that was trying to be interesting. Like, oh, eating is an inconvenience. Like I just need it to survive, and it's time consuming. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's a weird guy to be.
Yeah, that's a little sociopathic, but
I'm not like the foodies are people who like I gotta check out the new restaurant. I don't care
yeah,
about
exactly.
the new restaurant. I like what I like, but I like eating.
So
And you know, if I get a chance to go to it, I'll go to it.
yeah,
But
that's my thing. Is
I'm not a
like
snob.
I'm not gonna outperform. Like you said, there's all these hot chicks working on Instagram. And there's babies. I can't beat that. That's okay. I know my lane, and I'm also not gonna have. And also, there's like a million foodie profiles, so I'm not just gonna post pictures of food because like people have already done that. So I just overflow the story with goofy food shit, and then I'm trying to make legit episodes, and they're not. It's not just food porn. It's like it's just
Regular porn.
I'm trying. It's regular porn. We get naked and we eat food.
Yeah.
No,
You fucking.
I'm gonna get a lot of followers, a lot of weird
mean,
followers now. They're
why
like,
not,
Like a Pornhub channel,
I
dog.
like what
No,
you're
seriously,
doing.
Chow
I
with
like
Rao.
what you're on to. But yeah, I'm trying to just be in all lanes right now: food, comedy, wrestling, and mix them all, and just
I always
Yeah,
say
have
the
some
most
fun.
successful thing you could do is take the things you love and try to do them for a living.
yeah,
yeah.
Because then
absolutely.
you'll never really work. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I mean, you work, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Dude, thank you so much for fucking being
hey,
on the
thank
podcast.
you.
Everyone,
was
check
fun.
out his shit. I will. It's now my goal. I'm gonna report on you throughout the summer. So when you do the Pan Am Games, I'm gonna let our listeners know
Hell yeah.
how you're doing. So I'm gonna
Thank
follow
you.
along and I'm gonna report on it for you because we all here at Kilgallon's Pub are rooting for you. James Webb, thank you. Everyone, you know where to
Thank you.
follow us. Check out the Patreon. Please subscribe to that. It keeps us going, and the album's out there if you want to buy it. And
Clips are coming.
Clips are coming. Subscribe to the YouTube, youtube.com/Joe Kilgallon. Thanks for checking out Kilgallon's Pub. Cheers.
Sweet. Oh man, that was fun.
Dude, that was a lot of fun, man.